Welcome to Adrift in Aldhalor, our weekly actual play D&D show, set in our homebrew world of Arden. Oh, goodness. Sorry, I'm still coughing a little bit, but I am much, much better. But our music is licensed through Musicbed.com. And sometimes we use Ambience from Syrinscape. But I'm going to turn things over to Shannon to talk a little bit about our partners.
I am a little busy scolding our command putter in chat. Sir,
He is
stop
abusing
it.
his
For a new
power.
title.
He is abusing his power.
What was the title? Command inputter?
Honestly, I don't even remember.
Stefan, you
Command-
hereby
Commander?
forth are the commander. Yes.
Congratulations.
Wonderful.
Chat commander.
Yes, chat commander. Love it. Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. Welcome. As Sean said, we are very happy that you are here or you are watching at a later date on our YouTube channel. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to start by talking about our partners, starting with Arcane Spectacles. I have a question for you. Do you want to elevate your TTRPG and D&D gaming setup?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Of
thanks,
course.
Claire. Well then, showcase your dice collection with pride using Arcane Spectacles' personalized dice display. With options ranging from 1 to 5 shelves, each one custom engraved with the name of your dice set or character, it's the ultimate way to show off your collection. Sturdy construction and a unique touch of personalization makes this display a must-have for any serious gamer. Upgrade your setup today and roll for the ultimate gaming experience with Arcane Spectacles. Visit them at arcanespectacles.com. Next, we have Underground Oracle Publishing. They are a best-selling, any-nominated TTRPG publisher building new and exciting settings for the cipher system of every genre that you can imagine. Each setting includes everything you need to explore its unique world, including lore, species, descriptors, foci, creatures, ciphers, artifacts, and all the rules that you need to play. For as little as $3, you can join their Patreon and help shape each of the worlds that they create. Next, we have Edward Yorke. Eddie is our character artist. He is an illustrator based in the UK who makes art for games and books. To visit his portfolio and get in contact with him, visit eyorke.com. And last but certainly not least, we have 1985 Games. They create affordable, accessible, high-quality accessories for D&D and other tabletop role-playing games. Sean uses their NPC cards. They're pretty great. And if you would like to purchase those cards or any of their other amazing wares, use the code paradiceprod for 10% off your entire order. Couple of last minute things here. We've got recaps on our Discord that Sean writes for us. They're one-pagers that give a nice detailed account of what happened in our previous session. So join us there if you haven't already. You can also find us on Twitch, Bluesky, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. I'm done. Are you ready, Sean, or do I need to vamp?
Vamp for 1 second.
1.
Nah, not like that.
Nah.
Vamp for 5 seconds.
Okay. 1, 2. No. I hope everybody is having a swimming start to their new year. It's good to see all these friends in chat. Hi,
Thank you.
David.
David
Also-
Tilstra.
David
the hell's
Tilstra.
that?
Yeah.
I don't know that guy.
Good to see you.
Just kidding. He's great.
Your turn.
My turn.
Your turn. Yeah.
Okay.
You got to run this ship, man.
Oh shit.
You gotta vamp it.
Let's recap. Let's get into it. All right. Last we left off, Iron and Mana sailed aboard the utterly seaworthy back to Hyvin after completing their quest in Stony Heath to the far north. After a tense discussion of the party's dynamic and the disagreement between Firin and Septimus, the party returned to their typical seafaring routine. Sass worked on the sails and rigging and overall manual labored throughout the evening. Bruce and Septimus tended to their tinkering, particularly focusing on the creation of a prosthetic for Septimus's arm that he lost in the fight in Stony Heath. Well, not really in the fight, more. It's complicated. Go watch that episode.
Yeah.
It was not in the fight. It blew
Okay.
up.
But that instigated the fight?
True. Kind of. Anyway. Jacquette returned to gamble and drink amongst the crew, as well as provide them with a little bit of inspiration as he regaled them with their exploits in Stony Heath. And Fearn began experimenting with his peculiar cursed mask. At one point, Bruce found Jacquette and began questioning him about the fight with the Cutters, particularly his involvement, what he was doing, why he was hiding so much. In short, Bruce wanted Jacquette to know he has an eye on him. They talked of the value of loyalty in an adventuring party as they drank from a bottle of wine, and Jacquette admitted that he was not as effective as he could have been in that fight. As the night went on, a fierce storm rocked the ship. Sass stayed out in the rain and the twisting night to help keep the crew together and hard at work. They were able to keep the ship stable, but shortly after, Sass entered the water to scout for potential threats, using her fathomless warlock abilities to swim amongst the harsh shore, as well as a nice rope tied around her waist. She found Sahagin raiders latched to the bottom of the ship, the strange shark-like people who had been attacking the crew and the party on their way to Stony Heath, seemingly at the behest of the Bone Rattler, an enemy ship that had promised to sink them or kill them if they ever find them out on the sea. A skirmish ensued between Sass and the Sahagin. After hearing the bombarding eldritch blasts from inside the ship, the party rushed out to join Sass and successfully took out the raiders, and also kept any fires from spreading across the ship using Jacquette's decanter of endless water, since one of the raiders had a lightning blasting staff. That Sahagin did get away. It retreated back into the water. The party, exhausted from this fight and a rather arduous time in Stony Heath, rested for the evening and found themselves in Hyvin the next evening, the storm having subsided, though the sky still cloudy and drizzling rain. They said their goodbyes to Captain Galdus and his daughter Elmira and headed off to the Harlequin and Chalice for Jackie Touché's performance. Elmira, the first mate and daughter of Captain Galdus, brought her crew to the performance as well. A decent crowd had gathered, and Orin was ecstatic to see the party return since he hadn't seen them in a while. Jackie put on a hell of a show. Highlight of the evening was a sea shanty that told the tale of the utterly seaworthy and Iron and Mana fighting off the dastardly Bone Rattler and her captain, Otto Hastings. The crowd roared and joined in on the chorus as Jackie danced across the bar top with his drum. The next day, the party heads to the university to collect their reward from Sigil and Professor Cadmus. With some hesitation, the party decided to reveal the monodrone to Sigil. The librarian seemed taken aback by the creature, though he said he did not know much, if anything, about its origin. A few of the party members noticed the slightest of twitching in the eye of Sigil at the mention of Modron and Mechanus. He's not being forthright with the party regarding this knowledge. But he promised to dig up any information the vast libraries might hold. Before Cadmus arrived, Saskia asked Sigil about creatures that steal names and warlock patrons. He mentioned what she spoke of sounded like the work of a fey creature, and that one can never be sure if the entity is seelie or unseelie, or rather friendly or unfriendly. Furthermore, the creature may be infected with the pallid rot from the Feywild still being slowly repaired from Campaign 1. Cadmus arrived, and the topic shifted to their reward, 1,500 silver pieces for their trouble. As Cadmus left, Jacquette overheard him tell one of his students to clean and fetch his tales for the gala this evening. Immediately intrigued by this, the party learned of a retirement gala for the Dean of the College of Art and Humanities, Dante Firio. Sigil offered to acquire them invitations if they were so interested. This party, ever on the hunt for more networking events, it seems, they eagerly accepted this offer. And this is where we left off. So, Iron and Mana. You have finished up with Sigil. He has promised to seek out both textbooks and invitations for you. It will take some time to do the research for these different things. He'll probably be able to find you the books easy enough over the next day or two, but then you'll have to do some active research to actually find information. Like I mentioned last week, you can hire some of the scribes within the college to actually do some of this research for you and provide you with their findings. It just costs some pretty silver. Every 50 silver you spend on a researcher increases you get a +1 to your roll to learn knowledge from the university. It will take a week, though, to do the full research. So that's something to keep in mind. Okay. So, you all have, unless there's anything else you wanted to ask Sigil about, I believe you most likely are probably moving on to your next thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Sigil promises to find you some invitations and catch up with you later in the day. So, Iron and Mana, what would you like to do in the city of Hyvin?
What time is it, Sean?
It's pretty early, since all you really did was meet up with Sigil this day so far. So it is the 9th of Inarm on a Thelensnir.
It is the 10th of Ilsavala on Yeldis Dog.
Wait, it's the 10th? Every session I'm a day off. How is that happening? Oh, I know why.
Wait, no, I'm right.
No, you're right, because I didn't.
You know what? No, double check me. I've been wrong.
No. You're right, because
you're right,
the
Scott.
9th was the night of the
It's your
performance. The 10th
Yep.
is the next morning.
Yep.
Well, I can almost always assume I'm one day off on my own world's calendar. Suddenly, you all forget a full day because the god of this world deleted it.
Groundhog Day. Upon leaving Sigil's office,
Yes.
Jacquet does want to talk to the party as we're making our exit, and he's gonna go. Did any of you notice that?
What?
Notice what?
Sigil, when we mentioned the monodrone and modrons.
I did too.
What do you mean?
He seemed a little off, like he knew more information.
How could you tell? He's always wearing a mask.
Just the way he kind of shuddered, or, there was a different demeanor to him when he heard.
His vibe was off, if you know what I mean.
I do.
I
You think he was
knew
hiding
would understand
something?
that.
Yeah.
Maybe not hiding, but he wasn't telling us the whole truth. So I guess, yeah, technically that's hiding. No, you're right. He was hiding something.
Why do you think he'd hide something?
I don't know, but even afterwards, he did suggest, we proceed with caution, as if he knows even more.
Maybe we
Remember...
should-
Oh, sorry.
I was going to say, maybe if we had the chance to speak with him somewhere a little bit more private.
I don't think it gets more private than your own office in a vastly magical library that seems to move on endlessly. What I was going to suggest is, remember Lucas? The brother of the poor deceased
The cobbler.
guy? Yes. Hugo was his brother that died. Well, remember, he had offered, he's an interest in the celestial mechanics, which seems to have some connection with these modrons. Maybe we ask him to look into this. This way, we, have our own third party, as it was, looking into it.
That's a good idea.
I know, that's why I said it.
Well, I'm skeptical that he would know something that is so foreign, but all those books that he had at his place might have something or hold something. that
If
could shed
nothing
some
else,
light
it's
on it.
another pair of eyes that won't try to hide anything from us.
Jacquet, you feel a tugging on your coat as you look down at Monodrone. And he looks up and says, I do prefer to experience what I learn actively in the world, but that library, I must say, was fascinating. Though the condition it's being kept in seems unsatisfactory.
Okay. And Jacques just kind of gives him like a, not a dirty look, but kind of like a, why are you talking to me look?
At the suggestion of your friend, Sigil, a strange fellow, you may wish to leave me there at times. I would so enjoy to read.
And Jacques like kind of points over to Septimus and goes, Dr. Septimus, there's something about him, Jacques says, just like talking to the party now, like ignoring Monodrone, and he goes, it's unsettling. Is it just me, or?
No, it's not just you.
Okay. And then Jacques looks back down and goes, sure thing, buddy.
If you
I
want to
do
stay,
know that we have a bond, a agreement, if you will, a contract of mutual service. I don't wish to break said contract, but if you are agreeable...
Whoa, I never signed any contracts, my friend. Don't talk about contracts with me.
I don't believe it was with you necessarily. It may have been more specifically with Septimus regarding...
Septimus, are you signing contracts with strange creatures from different planes of existence? You know that's how people, and he gives a side eye over to Saskia, end up in bad situations.
I think
I
he's
never
talking
signed
more of
anything
like
either.
just a verbal agreement.
Oh, that I did do, I think. Potentially.
I gotta tie my shoes. Hold on.
Bruce, you don't
everything-
even wear shoes.
From
doesn't
everything
wear
I have
shoes.
heard, Saskia, your agreement is not verbal, but indeed binding magic.
Yeah, I'm hoping to learn a little bit more about it. And do you know anything about it?
About what? You've given me very little information.
Well, you just said that you said I don't know. You sounded like you were sure of you knew about the contract for binding and magical and all that.
I was just pointing out the flaws in your statement of it was a verbal agreement, given that you said that you gave up several things. Sounds quite like a patron agreement.
Yeah. All right. Yep.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Sass, I was going to ask him, Monodrone, if you were going to stay at the library, I might ask that you look into some research for me, if that's all right for you.
If you continue to provide me with new experiences on this plane of existence, then I am happy to help. It will be part of my own audit anyway, so...
Perfect. Well, I guess specifically what Saskia is asking for is see what you can find for powerful beings, elementals, fae, any sort of creatures that exist in the domain of the sea. Maybe ones that take memory.
She's got a little light on her forehead too. Maybe
Light
we
in
can
her
find
forehead.
something.
Like an
Maybe
anglerfish.
Exactly.
Ah, anglerfish. Yes. And then he just like starts like making the most awkward laugh ever. It's just sort of like a ha 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 ha.
Stop that. Stop that.
And he looks to you, Septimus, and like in a full like 30-second delay from when you said it, you didn't even make a joke. He had just heard you say sea witch within that sentence.
You know what's so funny? I did the same thing.
And he just starts to laugh very oddly. He's like, huh, I see what you did there, Septimus. Good joke.
Joke.
It wasn't.
Joke.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. But yes, if you
They're not for
if
me.
you come across anything along those lines, that would help us dearly.
Yeah. That'd be great. Appreciate it.
Of course. Well, when the next interesting adventure begins, ensure that you come back for me, because I will find you.
Well, if you get bored
And the
here
ceramic
and you-
lips are just smiling with the
Ugh.
one eye with the mechanical parts all around it.
We're sure that this guy isn't the murderer and should be thrown in jail, right?
Jail? No jail can hold me.
I mean, he looks harmless enough. He hasn't threatened us.
It is not the responsibility of a monodrone to commit violence unless it is commanded of the Great March.
Was it commanded of the Great March for you to smash somebody's head in and gut another one?
I don't know what you're talking about. I've never seen a day of combat in my life. Spent most of it sleeping.
Oh, what a life. Anyways, let's go see about Lucas. Monodrone? I don't care. Then Jacquette's gonna walk to leave.
What are you going to spend your money on?
Wait up!
Septimus kind of smirks for half a second, maybe because he's feeling a little cheeky, but if Jacquette walks away, he'll lean into Monodrone and be like, he does care what you have to say. Keep him updated maybe every hour or two about your studies.
Monodrone looks up and goes,
Excellent.
that seems most efficient to make sure that we're sharing information in an effective way. I'll go start now. And you see he starts to float up in the air, and you hear just like the light chimes of his wings as he just sort of and vanishes as he disappears back into the library.
As we're laughing and walking out, and Jacquette's ahead, I'll walk up to Septimus and say, that was fucking brilliant. He's gonna hate it, and it's going to be great. I also wanted to tell you that I wasn't joking if you wanted to test out potions and shit that you were talking about. Like, I'm happy to do that if you were looking to concoct, so to speak.
Well, I don't have anything in mind right now. I have some notes. I think it'll be more spur of the moment if we get our hands on some rare ingredients.
Gotcha. I just wanted to
going
let you know
forward.
I was serious about that. I know lots of what I say can be fluff, but that wasn't. Or seaweed, I guess.
Good to know. And pointing to the side of your cheek again. In regards to that, I know magic wasn't able to help, but maybe a combination of that and some surgical practice. If you're interested, I have some thoughts.
Yeah?
I can't promise it won't be a little painful, but
That's all right. Yeah, no, that's sure. I can't promise it won't act back.
we'll think about
Might
it.
be
But
painful
I
for
am
you.
curious.
Yeah.
About that creature, how the hell it lives.
Yeah. I don't really know. It kind of just showed up. Well, no, it didn't just show up. I know exactly how it happened.
It's incredibly disgusting as Sass is like doing that, like tonguing her cheek there, because it's like every time she like juts it off of her face, you can just sort of see the little like antennae of the barnacle come out of the wound, and you could just sort of see the tip of its beak.
Doing anything?
Like a. Yeah, it's still there.
As you, Sass, would hear the clicking sound inside your head.
All right.
The antennae shoot back in as you slap your cheek.
But I'll leave you alone after this. But thank you for asking him to look into whatever the fuck I got myself into. Appreciate it. And I'll do some research myself too, and maybe I'll I don't know really. Let's keep walking, and I just walk off.
All right. So where are you all heading?
Going to Lucas's, I think.
Lucas Pasquale.
Lucas Pascal. Famous
Pasquale,
actor. Okay, so you can head on over to the Old Gate Road, where you know his apartment is amongst the tenement housing there. Easy enough to find his little cobbling apartment there. You know where you're going, and you can knock on the door. And shortly after knocking on the door, you would get that very sheepish, slight opening of the door, as you can see the gaunt man staring back at first with those very, very frightened eyes, but then he sees you all, and it shifts to just slight discomfort, not fear anymore. As he unlocks the chain and opens the door up, and he kind of stands in the middle of the doorway a little awkwardly. He says, "It's good to see you. What can I help you with? Do you have more word on what happened to my brother, and or any more need of my services?"
Yes, we believe we found a connection to your brother's murder in the form of a creature calls itself a Modron. Have you ever come across this in your research?
Modron. I can't say I've come across that term, but like I mentioned the last time, I've seen quite a lot of research into what could be considered upper plane celestial creatures. I haven't been able to stop thinking about the term you used, that the boy used, angel.
Would a lollipop help that at roll? You know, get right over the edge.
I don't like sweets, but I suppose we could try.
Well, we were hoping to pry your knowledge of what you know of some celestial beings. And if nothing that you may know offhand, if we may take a look at some of your texts.
Well, of course, and like I said last time you were here, if you were able to get me into the university, I'd be happy to work with you, as well as if you could get some of the text from the university out to here. I occasionally been able to get my own, but yes, let me gather up some of my texts on celestial creatures. I don't have many, but I have some.
Do you mind, is there like a surface somewhere that Jacquet can use for writing?
Oh, yeah. There's a desk where the books are all stacked with some of his own writings, and then there's also just sort of like a coffee table in the middle of the room.
Cool. Jacquet's gonna sit down and taking out the paper he has granting us admittance to the Admiralty Court and to the library. Jacquet is going to change it from his name to Lucas Pascal, because it's probably better to do it that way. And since they know Jacquet up there, he'll just be like, "I lost it. Oh, so sorry. Get me a new one." And so he's going to use this one to hopefully make it a much more valid.
Yeah, I love that. So go ahead and make the forgery kit roll to see what the DC is, right? To discern it.
Yeah. Right. I'm trying to remember.
That's what we did last time, but I
Okay.
just want to double check.
Did I use, what skill should I use with that? Or is it just proficiency? Or I guess which attribute?
Yeah, I would say for this, I imagine, I'd allow you to use dexterity, since it's dexterity, or part of me wants to say intelligence, but it is sort of like the art of copying.
Right.
Let's go with intelligence.
Okay, do I get advantage on this because I'm doing it in such a smart way?
I'll say for this go around, no. But I will
Okay,
remind
that's,
you do have a inspiration point.
Yeah, I don't care that much about it. That's a 5.
Okay.
And again, it's only
do you want a lollipop? I mean, like...
to make it what?
It's not meant to
Advantage.
survive under harsh scrutiny, but it's meant to just get him in the door.
Right. All I'm doing is replacing Jacquet Touchard with Lucas Pascal. Pascal. Pissy boy. I'm sorry. That was.
Let me just check one.
It was
thing
uncalled for.
real quick.
Most of what I do is uncalled for.
Bruce, I'll take a lollipop. You got any extra? What? I didn't hear you.
Oops.
Bruce.
Sorry, I was I had some inner thoughts. I was talking to myself.
No worries. Do you need me to say what I said again?
Yeah, if you don't
Yeah,
mind.
yeah. I just was. Do you have any extra lollipops? I'm craving a sweet.
Oh yeah, what flavor would you like?
Oh, what you got?
We got blueberry, we got raspberry, we got some with gum inside of it.
Ooh, give me one of those. Yeah. Give me like strawberry or green apple. The green apple ones are my favorite.
I got a grape. You want a grape?
All right, that'll do.
All
Thanks.
There you go.
Right, stick it in my mouth.
It's incredibly sweet. Incredibly sweet.
Push the
Steph,
spot.
Yes.
correction to my request there. It would actually be based on Xanathar's a deception check for forging documentation. Which I'm assuming is one of your 19ers.
20 years.
20 years. Okay. So we will adjust that to it having been a 20 then. Okay.
Cool.
Yes, it's deception for well-crafted forgery, papers, whatnot. Arcana to try to identify if something is real or fake. Magic item that's real or fake. History to tell if documentation is real or historical papers are real.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Cool. All right. Oh, you can also do, that's cool. Quick fake during short rests. You can make really quick forgery documents. Cool. Anyway,
That's where we got it from.
That is where
'cause
we
it
got it
says
from,
with the
yeah.
your intelligence check using a forgery kit determines the DCs for someone.
but this
else.
one is you sitting down and doing it. So
Okay.
we'll use the deception for that.
Sounds good.
Cool. So that's going to take you a little while you're sitting there. While Jacquette is doing that, what would the rest of you like to do with Lucas? So, I mean, Jacquette kind of barged in and took over his coffee table while he just said, "Welcome in."
making like the way in and kind of talking. Maybe modron is not a term that you've heard before in the studies, but we came across this being, as Septimus goes on to describe exactly what the modron looks like. Anything in your studies that you can recollect sounding like that?
Yes. I mean, much akin to the description that the young boy Omar gave. This sounds like a confirmation of what we were already looking at. That sort of armor of gold and the iconography of an eye makes me think of celestial angels, but other documentation says these sort of beings are more humanoid than that.
It does have features that seem, right way to put this, like biological. It's like it's not fully like half and half, but it's definitely mostly machine. But some of its features, like the eye, obviously, seem very lifelike, real.
These sort of suggestions make it sound like some sort of celestial being that's joined the cults in Halcyon.
Do you remember where you read this, or these this description?
Yes, I have an old text on celestial orders. Quite a while ago. The author's been lost. It's just sort of some scraped together pieces from the early years of the recovery.
Might I take a gander?
Of course. I do ask you to be very careful with it. It's quite fragile. As you see, he goes over to his bookshelf next to his desk and pulls out a lockbox that he opens up that has sort of like some like cotton cushioning it. Certainly not like the kind of protective measures the university would take to keep these documents fresh and not damaged. Like, this document has certainly been damaged by being in this old cobbler's apartment. He's not old, but the apartment is. And he takes out a stack of really fragile looking papers that are sort of held together by a very simple ribbon that he just sort of places down in front of you and slowly unties, and then starts to gently sift through them until he gets to a certain section and sort of just holds a shaky hand out for you to take a look.
Septimus will begin to read and just kind of ponder through the pages.
And while he's reading, Lucas, have you ever heard of something called the Great March? This little being keeps going on and on about it. And he keeps referencing it like it's something that's coming, and he's auditing, whatever the fuck that means. Humanity or all of humanity.
Auditing. Oh, auditing.
Yeah, what would a tiny little monodrone, whatever it is, be auditing for?
Sounds like you all have a direct link to this knowledge and information. This, you said you have a creature of this ancestry,
met
this planar origin. Seems you'd ask the source.
We did, and it just keeps saying, well, it's all for the march, it's all for the Great March, and just keeps talking about it like everybody knows what it is, but we don't know what it is, so do you know what it is?
It's in Septimus kind of pull up his head. It's like, we've questioned it quite extensively, but it's cryptic in its answers, as with
that's a
most
good word, yes. Very cryptic.
deity or spiritual beings. But also it seems that its memory is not all there. Like, it is very interested in gathering knowledge to sort of reclaim something that's been lost to it.
Well, perhaps it's been damaged. Or if it is extraplanar in its arrival here, something stayed behind. These creatures, it's very difficult for them to come to the material plane of existence without assistance. If this is some sort of crusade, as many of the creatures beyond, from my readings, all have their own crusades that they want to go about. You know, there's the March of the Hells, there's the, well, of course, there was the Allied conflict, there's the, those who believe in the great wave of Crescent Heart's blessing across the planet. Everyone, there's all sorts of marches and crusades amongst those devout and the true mechanisms of the cosmos. All fascinating. My knowledge is, of course, disparate and disconnected because I've had to scrape these books together. But beings of celestial nature often tend towards order. Auditing sounds like something an ordered creature might be privy to or compelled to do.
It was saying
about-
that it was... Oh, sorry, Fearn. It was just saying that it was early, too. It might have woken up early before others, so maybe there's more coming. I don't know. It was a lot of fluff.
Well, if it said there was a great march coming, it usually implies many.
Aye.
There's few parades of an individual out there.
What about the name Lacuna? Have you ever heard of that in your readings?
Is it pronounced lacuna?
Lacuna, it's, I've heard that expression before.
It's an expression?
Well, it's a word, but I've heard of its meaning. Empty spaces, gaps in between. Some professors of celestial mechanics that I've been able to acquire texts about discussed the sort of weave of the universe, so to speak, or the way that everything is tied together, and often they might use the expression lacuna to mean a gap in knowledge or a gap in the orders, a missing link.
So that's why when it said there is no lacuna in the Great March, it meant there is nothing. There's nothing missing.
It's perfectly ordered. It's probably what it meant.
So when I first heard it, it sounded more like a name.
I thought it was a name too.
But that's gives me something to sleep on.
Oh, well, what did all names mean? Something.
Huh?
Fair point.
Your name, Septimus.
Literally means 7.
Exactly. I don't know what Saskia means.
Ironically enough, I don't either. And apparently it's not even my real name. I'm working on it. I'm figuring it out. I want to go retreat to wherever Bruce is.
Bruce
What?
is probably looking at like his shoes. Come on.
Mike, did you freeze? Or are you thinking? Okay, you look
Oh,
like
wow, that was really
that
good,
was
though.
really
You
good.
really look
that was really
frozen.
good. Yeah.
Bruce, do you
Um,
wear shoes?
No, Bruce doesn't. He appreciates them. If he
don't-
was to wear them, he would be like, he'd cut off the bottom of them.
Lucas hates
Is
you.
Bruce looking at like the stack of shoes right now and being like,
amazing.
Imagine he's got like shelves and like they're ordered really nicely and they're like they're rather well taken care of and dust free. He like probably polishes them every day, even though
Absolutely.
he doesn't wear them. Yeah, so Bruce is just like kind of touching them. Like he would probably have like put some of his finger oils on there, and not intentionally, but
Somehow Bruce touches a pair of shoes and they just shrivel away.
Yeah.
And melt.
Sean, can I roll
Yes.
a history or insight or investigation check going through this book?
Yes,
See if
you
I
can
can
give me a
Squeeze some more information out of you.
Yeah, you can give me a Arcana or History check. And this will be a quick check because you're not really like sitting down and doing hard research. You're doing a quick skim through to try to find important information.
Yeah, you're right. 18.
Okay. So a lot of what you're finding in here is mentioning of harmonies and symmetries, and how these beings, even the ones that might seem more humanoid, like the classic image of an angel, have a strong desire for symmetries and harmonies. And there seems to be a lot of language around the music of the universe when talking about these types of creatures. Makes you think about the way there's a light chime noise when Monodrone floats with his wings. And there is, with an 18, I'll say there is you are able to catch a brief origin of the celestial, the commonly known celestial beings, the Anshi, that they seem to be. This text suggests that they're transplants, that they were not sort of the originators of the celestial order, they fled the Feywild at a certain point and found the great celestial tree in the cosmos, Magmel as it's known to some, and sort of just settled and began to gravitate towards harmony and order. Some question whether this is something that they were always sort of in tune to, or if them living within a celestial plane of existence ordered them by their very presence there. And they sort of became part of the environs of that plane of existence, and that's the celestial order that is known. That is what you might think of as angels, or even like Valkyries, those sorts of things. Like anything connected to the celestial ordering draws you there. I mean, most people know of Adria as a celestial being who is a very loosely known god. Septimus probably wouldn't know who Adria is, but maybe sees the name there and is like, oh, okay, so there are known deities of celestial origin and order, but not many. You'd have to find some of the oldest texts in the world that have been preserved through the calamities of the past to find that information, or use really deep magic, like a legend lore style spell.
Gotcha.
If there's any kind of library that would have this kind of stuff, it would probably be the near infinite libraries of Sigil,
Well, yeah.
or something in the deepest libraries of Halcyon, or in the private collection of House Eminence of Halcyon.
No, but just getting those keywords can help pursue further study.
I would go over to where Bruce is touching shoes, and in an attempt to also seem nonchalant, I'm going to start rearranging shoes. And as I'm rearranging shoes, I'm saying to him out of the side of my mouth, I just had a powerful suspicion. And
What's that?
it's kind of a big accusation, so I'm not quite sure how to handle it, but Lucas was saying that this monodrone needs assistance in getting here, right? Did you hear that? Did I hear that correctly? Did you hear that too?
I've been like, yeah, something along those lines. I
So-
didn't know if I heard that correctly.
I think I did. And here's my suspicion as I start just absent-mindedly rearranging shoes. I think that you said Sigil looked weird, right? That he kind of like twitched or something when he was
Yeah, like he knew more. Saskia, why don't you just
sorry, yeah.
can you reach it back?
Imagine
is there any,
Saskia is like absolutely like scuffing the shoes and not like carefully
100%.
putting them back in. The thing.
100%.
There's like a size 13 shoe shoved into a little crevice.
100%. Now, this is a huge assumption on my part, but what if Sigil knows something about how it arrived here? What if he, as you say, he knows more than he's letting on, and he had some sort of role in bringing it here?
I don't know if I mean it's a good speculation. It's good to be speculative, but after going to Professor Nettle's house, I'm not sure the extent to which they know. I think they have an idea, and I don't know where they gather information for their original idea, but
But do you think it might be worth asking him? Like, I have no problem going in there and just saying
and
what I said to you.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Do you want to come with me?
I have to put your shoes back. But if you want a lollipop, by all means.
Well, I still.
Do you want
oh,
another grape? Another grape?
Yeah, that was really good.
Was that good?
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah, thanks.
There you go. And this one's gonna be actually enchanted.
Actually, Is that advantage you said on a roll?
Charisma.
Oh, perfect. Cool. Are you sure? I kind of don't want to go by myself. And you were the one that noticed, right? You were the one that noticed him being all weird.
Yeah, Professor Sigil, but not.
Yeah.
Look. We could go to Sigil later.
Yeah.
I didn't know you wanted to go right now.
Well, why not? The other ones are they're Septimus is researching. Fearn, come here. I have an idea.
Bruce
So
this entire time is like trying to like put the piece
Put the
together.
shoes
Like,
back.
all right, you put this over here.
no, this looks better here. Leave it here. Fearn, I have a suspicion that I kind of want to follow, and I don't want to go by myself. Do you want to come with me?
I guess. What is
Cool.
it?
And I will relay to him what I told Bruce. I think Sigil might have something to do with
What?
Modron's arrival.
Why don't we wait till Sigil comes to us with an invitation, and then we can confront him, all right? Instead of seeking him out.
But I feel good about it right now, and I might not later.
Here's what helps me out. So, and Bruce is gonna pull out his notebook. See here, it's his notebook, and if I need to remember something,
I know what a notebook is, Bruce.
I know. Sorry, I'm not trying to be an asshole. But if you need a notebook, I'm pretty sure. Bruce like looks around and like sees it, tries to see if like Lucas has any like spare pieces of paper, just like.
Oh, there's
around.
like for as ordered as his shoes are and perfectly kept
not
intact.
Not anymore.
His desk with all his books and whatnot is quite messy and covered in parchment and loose
Bruce
notebooks.
is probably gonna just take just a random piece of paper that doesn't look too important.
Yeah, no, you
And
find a
just
piece of paper that just has like a little list on it that just says like it's a few groceries and then like some self affirmations where it's like get out of the house today, go for a walk, unlock the door.
Yeah, Bruce is gonna take off his goggles and then just write down, just talk to Sigil about Modron speculation, and then
because don't forget the most important part, Bruce. Because it needs help getting here, and he acted weird. Those have to be related in some way. They have to.
When you say you're going to confront him,
Nicely.
okay, nicely. What are you specifically confronting him with? That he was acting weird?
No. I want to, yeah. Actually, just say we noticed when we were asking you about the Modron that you didn't say anything, but your body did, and we noticed, and I think that you know more than you're letting. Right? That's what you do, right? It's a friendly confrontation.
I think.
Are you saying this all out loud, or are you still kind of like having it aside?
It's a very small
I'm not-
apartment.
Yeah, I'm not trying. I'm like
Yeah.
I just
I'm
think
talking
that
to the two of them, but I'm not whispering.
if you plan to try and get information out of somebody that they don't want to give, you gotta have something on them or a reason for them to tell you.
Yeah, Fearon is right. I think what we said in our previous conversation was all that we're really going to get out of him. I think he promoted us to keep doing our research, so he's not trying to.
If it helps, Jacques says
would you mind if I threatened him? Is that what you want?
No,
from 5 feet away, Jacques goes, I did notice his reaction. I did. And I told you all about it. It wasn't just... but I did insinuate with him that he might know more. And he, in kind, recognized my insinuation and neglected to elaborate.
Well, that's
So
what I'm
he
saying. I can go back and elaborate. Just ask nicely. Sometimes you get what you want by asking nicely.
I mean, it also
Hold
might
on,
be
or-
underneath the academy building. Like, he can't say anything within the same grounds. Maybe if he's outside of the academy, he can.
So we
spit
take him
more
for a drink?
information.
Great.
Hold on. For a few things,
Oh.
we are still new to meeting, essentially, Sigil. We've known him for a couple months now. If he's withholding something, we need to earn his trust. I think that's where it comes down to. We don't want to
Don't you
extort
jump
him.
already. That's not what I'm saying.
Well, I'm saying Fearon just said, "Do you want me to threaten him?"
And I said no. I literally just want to go in and just ask him. We have a working professionalism, yeah. Like we've done 2 jobs for him. Like, why can't I just go and ask him a fucking question?
Well,
You can.
I mean, I wouldn't be.
Go ahead. But like I said, I already broached the subject with him, and he declined to elaborate. So be my guest, Saskia. Maybe you have that magic touch.
Could we go shopping on the way? I have a few places I wanted to stop by.
There actually were some places that I wanted to pick up some items as well.
Yeah, same. I wanted to get a shield at some point.
I'll prove you all wrong. I'm going to go in there. I'm going to ask nicely, and I'm going to prove to you that you can get what you want.
By
asking
forcing it out of
nicely.
him?
No,
Business
no, by
relations.
asking nicely.
Due
Oh my
time, we'll get it.
fucking god! All right, Jacques, what are you almost done?
I just need to, and he's gonna like drop the sand over the ink and. Okay, Lucas. With this piece of paper, you should be admitted into the Admiralty Court and also the libraries of the Academy. As you see here, if anyone asks, you know Professor Sigil of the library. If you see Professor Sigil, do you know what he looks like?
No, I've never met
He's
Professor Sigil.
a bit of a taller man, always has a mask wrapped up very tightly. If he asks you, you tell him that you know Dean Dante Ferrio, and just, keep your story straight,
And you see, like, as he's holding this, like, his hands are shaking as he's looking at it. Like, this is the greatest thing that's anyone's ever given to him in his life. He's like, I can just use this whenever I want.
I think so. Yeah, there's no stipulations, right? And at this, like, Jacques looks at the document for the first, actually looks at it, and it's just like, admittance, hereby under the. Yeah, there's nothing about a time, how often you go or anything. So, just be nice to the guards. Jeremy's a friend. Friend, strong word.
You see, Lucas is like physically shaking and like does a very half second of a gesture of where he was like about to literally hug you, before putting a shaky hand out to shake your hand.
Jacques clasps it and he goes, and of course, as compensation, time away from your boots. What do you guys think? 15 silver sound good?
So you'll pay me to research?
I think it's only fair, given that we're asking you not to make boots or shoes or sandals. Do you make sandals? Doesn't matter.
I'm not a fan of sandal, but I will make them if requested. Thank you.
Here you go. And Jacques' gonna take out from one of his pockets 15 silver and places it on the table.
Of course, just whatever. Tell me what you need researched. I'd be happy to look into it. This is, and you hear him whisper under his breath, as real scholar of the university.
Just remember, this is a forged document, so you're not a real scholar. Don't get too full of yourself just yet, my friend.
A little bit of the excitement does shrink away as naive to what you were actually doing at the table, fully believed you just gave him full, authentic credentials to be a scholar within the university, the thing he's dreamed his whole life of accomplishing, the thing that his family could never help him, and the thing his brother used to mock him for. And he is just like, but he's still excited because this is better than his current grift. I'll get right on it. It'll take a little while.
Is cobbling a grift for him?
I mean, you noticed that the books were stolen when you first were here. The books, he did not actually have them checked out.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. He's a real cobbler. Like, he is a real cobbler.
Oh, sorry. That's what. Okay, I thought you meant the cobbling was a grift.
No.
I was
But
very
his
confused.
his way of getting
The
books
front.
is
Yeah.
a bit of a grift. The cobbling is not
Right,
a front.
okay.
He actually is a cobbler and does
Yes,
make
okay,
his money with
okay.
cobbling.
Sorry.
Well, how else are you gonna wash your dirty money, right?
He makes no money. Like, when I say grift, I mean entirely to acquire stolen books.
Right.
He does
No,
not
I
make any
understand.
money.
I just misunderstood and thought the grift was the cobbling.
No, that
which-
makes sense. I slightly misspoke there. But yes.
Okay. Cool.
Um
So 15 silver with the forged documents, and Jacquet says, we usually stay at the Cask and Crow on Up Street or something like that. I
High
forget
Road.
the names of High Road. Thank you. High Road.
Up street, high road.
But of course, if you ever see Jackie Touche playing somewhere, that's me. Feel free to stop in and we can talk after a show or before if you come early enough.
I'm not really one for music, but
Oh, it's much more than music. It's like a whole kind of a stand-up routine. I make light of jokes. I do some poetry sometimes. It's kind of a social commentary about what's going on in Hyvin and the larger world. Usually focused on my accolades, but I talk about other people sometimes, right, guys?
Only to make
Yeah.
yourself look better. But yeah,
I will keep an eye out. But yes, I'll get right to researching.
Fantastic. We appreciate it, Lucas. And we'll hear from you soon.
Okay. So
Sean,
yes.
before I think Fearn's gonna wait back when the party goes ahead. He's just gonna it'll be like the sort of thing where he's like walking out of the place and he'll just be like, "Oh, I left something in there. I'll be right back," and just quickly run back in.
What good have you left? He doesn't have anything.
Okay. So you can head back in, and Lucas is there, marveling at his certification and sort of putting his books all together. He does seem to be
Lucas.
gathering all of his books together. Like, maybe he's considering sneaking them back into the library. But go ahead.
There's one more thing I'd like you to research, but I want you to keep it between us.
Oh. What might that be?
Look into any documentation on an artifact. It's known as the Ithildagnir.
Ithildagnir. That name sounds northern in origin.
That's correct. It's an old story. I'd like to... Nothing too dangerous, I hope, but just to be safe, for your safety and ours, keep it between us.
Of course. Fearn, give me a persuasion roll.
Could I get advantage if I throw him some money?
Yes, if you throw him some money, you can get advantage.
I will do that. Let's say... I'll give him another 10 silver.
I gave him 15, so.
Okay, well, 10 silver.
Okay, I'll give
That's
you
not
advantage
enough.
with 10 silver.
I'm not very good at persuasion.
It's, DC is 12 for this.
I got a 12. Let's go.
Okay. So he seems to take your offer. He takes the coin and gives you a very serious nod. You notice a bit more of that anxious energy returns to him that he had when he opened the door. But he nods to you as he's writing down the Ithildagnir and what you've said. And is gathering up his supplies to head over to the library.
Good lad. And then I run back out.
So you have acquired 2 researchers. You have Monodrone and Lucas now that you can employ at any time. Monodrone will do it for free. He will research for free. But he does, if you leave him there, there's always a chance of him wandering off or leaving to come find you. And Lucas is surefire, but it's going to cost silver to have him do research. Significantly cheaper than a university researcher at 15 silver versus the 50 silver of the premium researchers. If you are also doing the research with them, they give you those +1s. But they will do research on their own as well. It's better if you do the research with them. You'll have higher chances of getting more information, but they will do research independently as well. If you can have them work together as well, where you will gain the benefit of 1 + 1 from one of them. But Monodrone always comes with a risk of something going wrong with his research or him disappearing for a little while.
Makes sense.
Okay.
Can't trust those little bastards.
But he will always finish it. It just might not be in the timetable that you think. He'll never not complete a task he's agreed to do for you.
What a guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Okay, so you all leave Lucas's apartment. Shortly after you leave, he heads off to the university to test out his new credentials.
Immediately gets caught and jailed, and we lose another follower.
I am going to do a quick roll.
Oh no. He's gonna do this roll once a day. He'll never forget.
I mean, you'll find out. If you find Lucas being dragged out of the Admiralty Court, or the next time you see Sigil, he'll be like, "The strangest thing happened."
I believe in him.
Hey, you're building this man's confidence up, one interaction at a time. All right. What would you all like to do now? This took up the early afternoon. You can take it's around 2:30. We want to get some shopping done.
Yep.
Alrighty.
I was gonna go to the forge if anybody wants to join me.
That is actually
Yeah, I'll go
exactly
with you
where
there.
I wanted to go as well.
Sure.
As a refresher too, did I actually ever fix the half plate or the armor that Alex had, or was
Yes.
that like in the process? Okay.
Yeah, it took you the whole journey back.
Okay, I just wasn't sure if I needed something additional. Okay.
Yeah. So you guys worked on it on the way back, and completed the half plate.
So, are we? What's the plan here, everyone? Are we? Obviously, we're gonna go run some errands, but after that, are we going back in the direction of the university, or what are we? What's the plan after we're done shopping?
I thought Sigil was gonna come find us.
Well, I guess that's what we should discuss now. If Sigil comes back with invitations to the gala, is that something that we're all interested in doing?
Never been to one.
And if we're gonna go to a gala, we need to look a little nicer than how we do right now.
Yeah.
I think remaining in our adventuring gear as it was might make us more of a spectacle. We are not there as academics, let's make that very clear. So as long as we adhere to our roles as the adventuring party that works for the academy, I don't think that we necessarily need to get all dolled up, as it were.
Well, I'm gonna look a little bit more professional than this.
Okay.
Maybe I could get a new hat. But I like my hat. I don't know. What do you
So-
think?
Well,
So-
whatever
so
makes
it-
you feel more confident.
Take a lot more than a hat for that. What were you gonna say?
So it sounds that if we were to get invitations, that we would go to the gala tonight. Which is my vote, for one. I think it is a great opportunity to pitch ourselves to other high esteemed people in the university to potentially get some more work.
suppose
And
it would be
additionally, pick the
interesting.
minds of some other academics of the things we have discovered.
Before we head over to, on our way to Autobahn, Torcal, have you heard from him in a while, Septimus?
I haven't, but I was planning on stopping by his shop as well after
You
the
should have had
Smith.
another shipment come in of a bunch of scrap and artifacts, right?
You should have, yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, we'll stop there later.
That Tordo was very suspicious of me when I first came in, and I'm not really sure why.
Well, can you have like runes on your axes or something before you hand them? That you sold
I
to
sold
him?
them. They're probably gone by now. I've recast the runes on other weapons. Well, I suppose, well, yeah, let's get going.
All right,
So-
so you're
I
heading
gotta-
to.
I gotta tie my
Forge.
shoes again. One second.
You're not wearing any. So Forge, and then Torcal, and then clothes? Question mark.
I assume those are all kind of in the same spot.
They're actually not. Well, the tailor and Autobahn's shop would be in the same street. They'd be on Main Street, but Torcal works out of the flea market up by the old gate.
Okay.
So opposite side of town for Torcal. So you might want to go to him last, or.
I believe that later tonight, maybe after the gala,
Assuming we get in.
Gloveless and I have an arrangement.
Oh,
Yes, oh no, wait, you were. I don't remember. I got pretty drunk. We're gonna go see about a mask.
Mm-hmm.
are you going as yourself or someone else? Being real.
I don't know what you're talking
awkward
about.
it.
Yeah, I don't know either. What are you talking about, Saskia?
Jacquette is glaring daggers, and actually, it almost feels like there are two daggers pressing against her, as that is what he is willing in his mind
Oh.
to happen. But not that there's actually any spell. I was gonna
Yeah.
say like
Dagger eyes.
Dagger eyes, yeah.
I cast dagger eyes.
I'm gonna make that a spell.
Isn't there like a
I-
gift of gab or something that like lets you like take back
Things
the last thing you said?
Yes.
Noticing the look and backpedaling.
Just
Okay.
because I have two names doesn't mean that they're two different people. You know that, right, Saskia?
What?
Oh,
You know, most people call me Fearn, even though I prefer to go by
Jacquette
White
walks
Eye.
away. I can't.
Well, if someone you knew potentially needed some help, or I get it if that person maybe doesn't.
No.
Okay.
As you all begin walking down to High Road to head over to Main Street to find Autobahn's workshop, which, if you recall, is tucked away and nestled beneath the cliffs of the Admiralty Court. It's actually not. It's actually closer to Harbor Lane, but you can head there. As you recall, it's a large warehouse that has large open windows and several forges that send smokestacks out from high chimneys up in this warehouse, much more akin to a large-scale industrial factory than the quaint forge shop of Stony Heath. You know that he employs several apprentices, and Septimus, you know that he likes to do this because he likes to increase the capacity of his shop, but also he likes to not have to work and not have to actually smith. He likes to tell people to smith and not smith himself, which is why he has the Bunt apprenticeship program. His last name is Bunt. He offered you this apprenticeship the last time you guys were here because he heard good things from Torcal. But when you head on in, you would hear the familiar chorus of hammers and pumping of air into the forges and the fires burning and the familiar sort of overall heat of this space, even with the windows open and the furnaces bright. And you can see people ranging from 15 years old all the way up to in their 50s working these forges, all bearing the sort of apprentice apron of the program, with a few other journeymen and higher up smiths sort of commanding them, helping them, while you can see sitting behind the sort of display cases is Autobahn the Turtle, leaning against his large hammer that he keeps with the several decorative metal trinkets hanging off of his shell as he leans against this, seemingly slowly falling asleep to the nice chorus of hammers. It's like a lullaby to him.
Was this the same place where I was rearranging stuff last time?
Yep. You can see the racks that are near the big entrance where you can see they had a lot of like junk stuff that is just sort of like, if anyone wants it, we've kind of fucked up making it. It's not anyone wants it, just take it. It's, coppers kind of thing, where you can see just like misshapen pots and pans, broken things. This is all the stuff that you would have been like moving around in your mind, maybe being mischievous, but it's the discount rack. Like they didn't have a spot.
Well, now I want to, that's where I will be. And I would also, this time, instead of just rearranging, I'm actually going to like look through it and see if there's anything of interest, and maybe if I find something I really like, try and slip it into my pocket.
Okay.
But I'm gonna be real cool about it.
Any sort of specific thing you're kind of looking for amongst these old trinkets and broken pieces?
Well,
forgotten tools.
I'm always on the lookout for more sporks to add to my collection. So if there's any of those, any cutlery really, so any of that, maybe, I know Jacques quite likes dice, so maybe if there's any dice that are there. I know Septimus and Bruce like to, tinker with things, so things that they might tinker with. I'm kind of looking and fearing, maybe like, I don't know, a little knife or something that he could sharpen into usable form again. So just kind of, I'm perusing, see if there's anything for me or for my friends. And just, if something catches my eye, I will try and pocket it.
And also, I imagine Bruce and Septimus are gonna not intentionally distract.
Yeah. You're not.
That's probably exactly how it's gonna work. Torcal, good to see you again.
This is Autobahn.
Autobahn.
Oh, I'm sorry. Jesus Christ. I literally I said Torcal. No, I know. I literally said Torcal because I was picturing a turtle.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense.
Torcal turtle.
Autobahn.
You see, kind of.
See you again.
He kind of pricks up, and his eyes just sort of blink, and you can see like sort of the slow blinking of the turtle eyelids over it as he just sort of. Oh, Septimus. It's been a while since you come around my little shop. See you.
I'm afraid I'm a little worse for wear.
I can see that as he looks to your lacuna, your missing link. Oh, who invited Monodrone to laugh at my jokes? Interesting work you've got there, lad. As he also looks past that to your robotic arm.
Yes. I was hoping to take a look, peruse your items. I'm looking for maybe some exotic metals or something unique, something durable and strong that you have around here.
Something exotic. And you see he kind of gets up and stands up tall now. And again, like this is when he was sort of like half sitting and leaning, and you can see like how massive Tortles are. Standing taller than everyone here as he scratches his head with the hammer, holding this like what is like essentially a war hammer, as if it was just like a quarterstaff. As he kind of like scratches his head with the back of the hammer and comes around and starts to look at your mechanical arm. Exotic metals. Oh, where did you get this thing? This looks like Pyranor work.
Found it around parts of the property a while back.
Found it around, he says. Some of the rarest metals on the continent.
Well, it's possible. There was, you, as you well know, there was a lot of debris and mess after the Great Storm.
Oh, yes.
Things got displaced.
Oh, well, these sorts of things do often meddle their way out of the earth from forgotten times. Sort of thing Torcal deals in.
Well, I'm not asking for necessarily to be comparable or exactly like this, but whatever strong alloys or good steel that you have, be happy to take a look at.
Well, we can look at our stores of alloys and talk to our metallurgists to see what we've got cooking up and what we have in stock. You're looking for endurance mostly, or also malleability, manipulatability, the ability to manipulate it more flexibly? What are you looking for exactly, lad? We talking
I'd say more-
adamantine? We talking mithril?
I was thinking something more on the flexible side.
Okay. We can take a look at that. While I'm having the lads take a look, feel free to peruse around if there's anything else you wish to purchase, or your friends wish to purchase.
Septimus does go peruse to other stuff that's in the area, and he will pick up small trinkets and stuff that could just be regular, maybe iron or steel or whatever. As he's kind of thinking and talking in his head, maybe a little bit loud, of smaller little bits that he can use for upcoming project.
I imagine there's are there any racks of weapons and stuff like
Oh,
that?
yeah.
available?
Racks on
Yeah,
racks
there's
on
absolutely
racks.
your standard racks of weapons with there's ones that you can easily access and pull out, and then you can see this place is kind of almost like a hunting shop in the way that they have all of these racks of things set up, but then they have stuff behind the counter that's up and racked up against the wall that's a little bit more nice. You might see things like +1 armor and weapons there, or something more, or something made of unique material like mithril or elven steel.
Bruce is gonna pick up a buckler, a nice shield, a little shield that he can handle at least. And he's gonna pick it up with 2 hands over his head and walk over to Autobahn. How much does this cost?
Oh, well, that there is just a simple buckler. Not going to cost you too much. Trying to remember how much a shield costs.
I think
It'll be 10 silver.
All right, perfect. I'll purchase this from you, and also, if you don't mind, I might go to the scrap area and pick up some wire as well.
No, yeah. If you're finding any sort of interesting stuff there, it's basically if it's individually sort of bundled, it's 5 copper for the piece.
All right, I'll just preemptively give you 5 copper right now.
Okay.
Other question: Do random folks have access to your forge? What does it take to get access to your forge?
Well, you could enroll in the Bunt apprenticeship program. It's a commitment, though, for a certain contract period to gain your Bunt certification. Or if you're just looking to rent the forge out, you can do so for a modest price in the evenings after hours.
What's your version of a modest price?
Well, to access the forge and our materials and to account for damages or wear and tear on our facilities, as well as the cost of having a supervisor staffed in the evenings to make sure that everything's safe and you're not, nicking our wares. It's 5 silver an evening.
All right. Duly noted. Those that really nice half plate and shield over there with the what we refer to as +1. How much do those usually go for?
Yes. The stuff made with the more unique materials, some of it even infused with enchantments or even blessed, some say. +1 are extra special +1 check plus shields. Usually go for 450 silver.
Yeah, they look much better quality than the ones I saw in Stony Heath. Nice.
Well, the folks in Stony Heath, and you can tell he's about to go on a tangent.
They're kind of pricks, right?
Well, they look down us industry men who are trying to bring standardization, bring more products to the market. They've got their craftsmanship and artisanal shields and whatnot. I say it's not worth the trek nor the attitude.
No, and also if you're a company and you don't crap on your competitor, that's how you lose customers. That's how they lost me.
You need some integrity, lad. That's right. A good shield, a good strong shield can be made just as well by Winston over there. As he points to this 15-year-old orc who's just working as a Grand Master of Stony Heath.
Yeah. And like I always say, or my grandpa used to say, you always vote with your money. So, anyway.
Good man.
Thank you, Audubon.
Septimus.
Oh, go ahead.
I was wondering if you could help me out with a few things. I want to talk to the blacksmith, this Audubon, but I just wanted... I know you have been working with some magic lately, and I'm wondering if you can just be there, make sure I'm not getting swindled. Please?
You said that's me or Bruce?
I
You.
said Septimus.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Septimus.
I'm looking at Alex's face like he was about to say something.
It looks like you were waiting for him to say please.
Yeah.
That was great.
Septimus kind of It's because you sidetracked. So it's like, oh, yeah, sure. I have some. I'll be here for a while, kind of gathering some of these things, and I want to see what this collection is.
Okay. Hello.
Do you need me to roll for stolen things?
We'll roll an investigation check first, since you aren't grabbing a specific thing. You're looking to see if something catches your eye.
9.
9. Okay. You find there's a lot of scrap here, like dented, scratched metal. Like I said, broken things.
Scrap or junk?
This, you would actually look at this as, I mean, this is scrap. Like, you can salvage this. Like, someone will buy it.
Yep.
They here though just don't see value in it. Like, it's
Yep.
it's refuse from other projects that they're trying to get money for. But like, you might, if you were back in Shallow's Gone, find a way to grift more money out of it or repurpose it. So, I mean, there's a lot of that, but with a 9, like, you're not finding what you're looking for. There's no, like, you know, dented metal dice that have been forged here. You know, you might find a few things. You know what you do find? You find a little hand axe that is clearly, you recognize it as one of the hand axes that Fearn gave them.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just I'll see. I just want to see how much I can get away with. So I'll start with that, and then I'll just keep pocketing things.
Well, give me a sleight of hand check for stealing it.
Okay.
Unless you're just holding it and we're gonna walk out with it.
Ooh. It's a
Would-
10.
Maybe you are just gonna hold it and walk out.
Yeah.
As you're holding this this hand axe, and you're like, oh, okay. I remember there being more runes on it. You go to just slide it into your jacket, and as like Septimus and Fearn are going over to talk to Audubon, it's almost like his turtle eyes. One of them just sort of moves independently
Yeah.
and just spots you as you hear him smack the hammer into the stone ground, and you can hear just loud, like, just ting. Just, hey, 5 copper.
Right. Sorry. Yeah. No, I was just testing it. I was just
Saskia.
No, I was testing it.
Saskia.
Right? Doesn't it look? It looks good, right? What do you think? Should I buy it?
I don't know. Do whatever you want. And Jacques turns away and just snickers to himself as he's perusing crossbow bolts.
Audubon stamps stamps the ground with the the hammer, and scratches his head with the top with the back of it again as he looks over. Winston, and just nods his head as Winston puts his hammer down and just goes and stands near you. Just this 15-year-old's like really thin
Winston.
orc with like a teen mustache that's really really thin, and just sort of like greasy hair and acne. He's just sort of like, don't take anything. It's 5 copper per
No, I wasn't.
per
I
bundle.
wasn't planning on it. No, I was. I just wanted to test. I was telling the truth. I just want to test it. What do you think? Does it sit well there? Do you think?
It's 5
I don't
copper.
know. I'm not done yet. All right. I'm just taking it for a walk. Not in the shop. I'm not taking it for a walk outside. I take it out of my belt and I'm just gonna hold it. I'm just gonna look. I haven't decided yet.
It's 5 copper.
Okay. And I just walk away and start
And he just follows
rummaging
you.
again.
And he's always standing behind you. And if you look at him, he goes, it's 5 copper.
Yeah, I heard you.
Okay.
Well, I'm looking for. I want to make or purchase a set of armor for myself. Plate, preferably. We recently come back from Stony Heath, as my friend said, and I have a bunch of this silver ore that I was able to retrieve from the mines. I'm wondering if maybe you could put it to some good use.
Well, I mean, we can certainly take the silver on trade to reduce the cost of your plate armor. We have some plate armor that we can refit and size to you, so it won't take long to get it ready for you. But it's how much silver do you have?
Let's just say that I'm looking for your best set of armor that you have.
Well, I mean, if you're looking for something enchanted or blessed, that's gonna really run you a pretty penny for a set of plate.
What's a penny?
Humor me and say that that's exactly what I want.
Standard set of plate armor is gonna run you 1,500 silver pieces. Something a little nicer is gonna cost you a little more than that. You're looking at something that's enchanted with a +1, one might say. You're looking at around 2,000 silver, depending on labor and supply. You get past that, it gets pretty pricey. I don't know if you've got the cheddar, as they say.
Well, if I were to come across a set of plate armor, would you be able to enchant it for a fee as well? Like, what would that cost?
Well, if you were to come across some plate armor that you're looking to get either improved magically or infused with other alloys, we could definitely refer you to our sources for enchantment, or we could take care of it for you for a modest fee on top of the cost of the enchantment. If it were something like you wanted to infuse it with other alloys, that becomes quite pricey, but something that would be cheaper than purchasing a whole new set. So yes, that would be a cheaper option. If you have just, a set of plate armor laying around at your grandma's house.
How much silver, how much money will you take off for this amount of silver? And I take out my bag and lay the ores on the table.
How much did I say that you have?
We could just pretend that you said like 100 pounds.
I didn't. I gave you a specific amount.
You gave me 10 pounds of silver. I wish I had more.
Well, a pound of silver. You're looking at.
Think of all the coins you could make out of this.
We could work with it. We could work with this. We can get you a significant discount off of 10 pounds of silver ore. Just need to have it inspected by our guy as we continue this episode of Pawn Stars in Hyvin.
It's pure from the mines. I'm sure that it will equate to a decent amount. Should I come back later, perhaps after the?
Yeah, you could leave it here, and we'll lock it up for you. And if you come back later, we'll have a quote for you. And if you don't want the quote, then you can take it along with you. We'll be working on some of your buddies' stuff. So
very well, maybe just a slip or something, so I could.
No, of course we're gonna give you a ticket. We're not just gonna keep your shit and not give you something for it. It's a legal document. You could take it to the take it to the Commodore's office if we attempt to run away with our workshop here with your 10 pounds of silver. I know it's serious. It's your property. You know, we want a guarantee. As he calls over for another apprentice to go start writing up some paperwork for you.
Okay. I think that's pretty much all I wanted out of this guy, unless he wants to sell want me to sell knickknacks to him. I think that's probably better off Torkel.
Okay. Septimus, you would see someone comes back with some paperwork for Audubon, and he comes back over to you. And he says, what you likely are looking for here, at least for the alloy for flexibility and mingled with durability, is a mithril for this. Now, question is, how much do you need? If you're looking to forge something out of this, mithril can get pretty expensive the larger what you're making.
1 second. I'm thinking about maybe like. No, you're saying mithril is like as an alloy. Would it if I were to forge it, would it be straight mithril, or could I be like imbue that and steel together?
You could imbue it with steel. It would dampen the flexibility of the mithril. You wouldn't get that full sort of light, brisk, hard metal that you would get with a pure mithril arm.
Okay.
Like you could have
Just
parts of it, like if you were to get some mithril, maybe it's like the joints are mithril to provide flexibility, while the forearm is steel.
Yeah. Say, think about 4 pounds.
4 pounds. 4 pounds of mithril. Hey.
Now your turn.
Yeah. Do. Okay. 4 pounds. 4 pounds of mithril. You're looking at you're looking at I guess now I'm also realizing I have to like make this make sense with the silver also that I'm working with here. Man, D&D economics when there's no guidance on the type of item that you're trading is very difficult. Let me get back to you on a quote for that. I have to in a little bit. I have to go on my break for a second. But let me talk to my guy and see how much we can let 4 pounds of mithril go for.
Sure, understood. What about just straights with your good high carbon steel?
I'm gonna have to take a look at that too, sir, on my break. Oh, the joys of artificing. But let me go gather some stuff up, and I'll come back out. We'll give you your friend a quote, and we'll get you an invoice for what you're looking for. Feel free to stick around while we're doing that, or you can head on over, do some other stuff, stop by later, and maybe keep an eye on your friend there. She's getting a little squirrely.
I'll handle her. If anybody else, if we're all set, I was gonna, I guess, maybe go see Torcal in the meantime.
Yeah.
Saskia, did you want to split off and handle the other thing, or do you want to go to Torcal first?
What other thing? The we have several other things.
Talking privately to Sigil.
So fuck's sake, Sigil, and no, I can wait. That can wait. And I appreciate you asking, but I second guessing it a little bit. I'm still gonna ask him, but I'm deep in my head about it. And I am fully planning on trying just to walk out with this axe, like just kind of like not like I'm not like.
Septimus is gonna put a hand on your shoulder and just shake his head.
What?
Please put it back. I'm trying to keep a good business with.
Oh fuck! I forgot it was fucking on me. I'm sorry. Fearing they thought it was junk.
Hey, that's 5 copper.
I changed my mind. Didn't like the way it looked.
I give the guy
Thanks.
5 copper and I take the axe.
Okay. They don't appreciate good northern metalwork.
Yeah, it's true. Well, I guess one sold, so I guess there is some discerning eyes.
Yeah. All right. So you're gonna head over to Torcal to check in with him. But I think before we do that, we're going to cut to a quick break. All right, folks. We will return to finish up our shopping and checking in with our merchant friends. As the party will then, they'll need to go get some nice clothes, I think. And then we'll go from there. All right, folks. Please stick around. We'll see you all very shortly.
Bye.
Bye. Or see you soon. Welcome back to Adrift in Aldhalor. We've had a bit of a shopping episode today, as our heroes have acquired the services of some allies in research and met up with Audubon, the turtle blacksmith, metallurgist, entrepreneur, and have inquired about some goods. But they are heading now up the Old Gate Road to head to the flea market, where they know their friend, well, Septimus's friend, Torcal, works a booth in the Brigadier Circle, the Brigade Flea Market, where he sells scrap, and sometimes exotic scrap, to the right person. So, as you're going through the flea market, there are other shops here. I know you have a specific interest here, but there are other booths if you ever wanted to like try to find some discount goods or strange things. They're not like marked really. It's mostly just sort of like tents with tables out front or wagons that have just accoutrement. Some of them are just fresh fruit and other farm products as well. Steph.
Jacquette would break off from the group at this point to go find someone that deals in jewelry, because I've got some rings that I got that need selling. And after we had left Audubon's shop, before we gone there, Jacquette can be seen casting some spells. Specifically, he is casting the distort value spell on all these rings to double their value. As he is then going to sell them.
I have a bunch of idols from the shipwreck that I was planning on doing the same thing for. I don't know if you want to double the value of those as well, but...
Okay, so you cast a spell on an object no more than 1 foot on a side, doubling the object's perceived value by adding illusionary flourish and reducing its perceived value by half. The help of illusory dance, blah, blah, blah. Another examining roll investigation check against your spell to see. Okay. So I believe the way I did this is I gave you a box of jewelry, right? And I gave you a value for it.
Yes. So I have rings from the captain's quarters on the shipwreck that is worth about 80 silver pieces. So how many rings would you say make up?
I would still count that as like a singular object.
Oh,
It's
okay.
Cool.
Cool.
It's a box of jewelry is sort of the object. But you're looking at like somewhere between 6 and 8 rings in there.
Okay, cool.
So okay. So
Now,
what is
sorry.
yeah.
I do also have from session 0 from looting corpses washed up on our stranded island. I just have 3 silver rings with gems. I don't know the value of these rings. There's never any given to me. So Jacquet would do the same thing with each ring. Or maybe he would throw them into the box just to add to its value.
I would allow you to throw them into the box to add to the value.
Okay.
And I'd say we can follow the standard that these rings already have, and have them be an additional 30 silver onto the total with these 3 rings put in.
Okay, cool.
Of the what would probably be the actual value.
Right.
This spell isn't concentration.
No.
That is insane.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you're using spell slots. Okay. So you mystically enchant this box. Maybe the box itself also begins to look a little bit nicer. I mean, it looked nice. It's just you got it in a shipwreck, so it's mostly you're concealing the water damage and all the stuff that makes it probably less valuable than when you would if you were just to bring this to the jeweler. They'd probably be like, "This is gross. It's gonna take us a lot of labor to clean this up." And to get it ready for market, so we're not going to give you the full 80 silver.
Right.
Okay, I love it. So this box looks glamorous. You've got a beautiful 220 silver value box of gems or gemmed rings. Okay. So you're easily able to find a little jeweler. That is, are you looking within the flea market?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
He's specifically looking for someone that comes and goes and maybe
Makes
won't
sense.
sully his reputation, as it were.
Absolutely. You are able to find someone. We don't have to role play the whole scene out necessarily, but you find a human fellow who looks like he's probably in his 80s, who has one of those headsets that has the magnifying glass on it to examine the gems. He's got a nice little setup. He has he's pretty serious, it looks like. He like the way his setup looks like is that it's not that he's a black market dealer, it's that he clearly operates outside of like the regular shopping cycles, and he goes and hawks, and he probably himself is a bit of a gambling streak in the sense that he's like, if I buy 20 of these, I can hawk them for this much somewhere else. He's constantly pursuing the grift himself.
Dream went down though. Yeah.
It pops back up though.
Oh yeah.
We just need to. Sorry about that, folks. My internet likes to do that for no reason. Because the thing that's really annoying about it is the laptop doesn't change. I can see you all moving and whatnot on the Battlecam laptop, but my main computer it's Discord. It's not my internet, it's Discord. On my main computer that has a moment. What's the last thing you heard me say?
Old human fellow in his 80s. He's chasing the grift. He's trying to.
Okay. So I think the thing that I got cut off is that he has this strange little buzzing battery on his table that's connected to a little lamp that he uses to examine these things. You can presume that there is an elemental locked within this tiny little battery.
Just gotta throw someone with a magical identification thing at me, don't you?
I didn't say that.
Okay, that's fair.
I just said that it's a light.
Past him and found it. We'll do a light. We'll do the light.
Mm-hmm.
So are you gonna go? You're going for?
Yeah. Jacques will go to him because
Okay.
if nothing else, I can grift the grifter.
Fair enough. All right, so let me roll a what is it? It's a investigation check. Okay. Oh. Drop the dice. Got another one. All right.
Tap happen, Mike?
Does a 16 pass?
Wait.
You good at cutting words him?
I was gonna say
Or is that
I'm
is
going
different?
to silvery barbs him to give him disadvantage.
Ooh.
Or yeah,
That works on ability checks?
That's a good point. Yes.
Oh.
Attack roll,
Can
ability
he
check,
see
or
you
saving throw.
casting silvery barbs?
I mean, it's a verbal thing. I literally would say out loud.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Oh, do you really think you checked that quite well enough? Maybe give it another look.
Yeah, I like to imagine it's like I always love the flavor of bards plucking at the strings of reality. Like I almost imagine like you with your words and your kind of gestures, you're just like bing, and just switching a little tether that's on them, maybe cutting it, one might say. 14.
14 fails.
All right, so he takes a long discerning look at these rings and gives you several glares. He's just sort of like, "Where'd you get these?"
I found them on a shipwreck out in the Zephyr Bay. Quite an old relic, I think. These rings, it was a merchant ship. And Jacquette's gonna spin a yarn that uses some information he got from the captain's journal, like alluding to the elven captain and like, you know, like their ties with the god of the sea or whoever it was. And it's all Ilmir, thank you. It's all, bullshit, but you know, he just flavors it. And it's almost like it's probably what he thought up in his head when he saw the ship and he imagined what it would have been doing there.
See, he looks at it all and he goes, and he's listening. He says, "Are these hot? Are these hot?"
No, I assure you, they're cool to the touch. The metal, it's as if it's been touched by the sea.
You know what I mean.
And Jacques gets real low in his face and he goes, "My good sir, I would never, Jacques Touchard would never sully himself with hot paraphernalia. How dare you? I only sell the best quality goods. In fact, I'll take them to someone else if you don't want them."
Oh, no, I'll take them. I'll offer you 180 silver for them.
My good friend, this is worth 300 silver.
300 silver? 300 silver? I'd be poor on the streets if I paid you that for these.
Well, imagine what you could get reselling it with your wonderful merchant skills, I'm sure. I mean, I just look at you and I see, this is a man. This is a man who could resell a piece of shit for a potato. And I know what you're saying. A potato, what's that worth? But a potato is worth a lot more than a piece of shit, if you ask me.
Give me a persuasion roll.
Of course.
I look at Fearn and go like this.
He's actually, they probably, you wouldn't hear him. He's probably a little bit of ways. You might see him, though, being boisterous with this guy.
That's a 22.
Ian's just got like a bunch of carved idols in his hands, and he's just gathering them, and he's like, "Who's gonna sell these? They're basically like selling shit." It's like a barnacle on one.
He this is like the one time I rolled where like I could beat your charisma thing, but you beat him because you got the 22. So he looks at you and goes, kids these days, adventurers, 220 silver, final offer.
You have a deal, my friend. Jacques puts out his hand to shake on it.
And he shakes your hand and takes the box and offers you a sack of silver.
Fantastic.
Man's thinking he's gonna go sell this for 300 silver somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
And in 8 hours, it's gonna look like crap.
Better sell it quick.
I would love if if no one saw you doing this and like Sass and Fearn came over and were like, "We could use some new rings."
I've got some rings I just got. Beautiful. I heard they're from a shipwreck.
Yeah, Elven Prince owned these rings. I heard they might even be magical if you investigate it. Willing to gamble? Okay. All right. So while Jaco is off doing that, the rest of you are at Torcal's stall. Septimus, as you approach, you can see Torcal is sitting there. He looks incredibly bored. There's no one at his stall. I'll remind you all that Torcal has like this very bright, vibrant red long hair with these very long elven ears. He is what one might view as a high elf of sorts. And he just has his clothes are dirty because he wants them to be, because he likes to be a little more under the radar despite being a high elf. And he's just sort of leaning up on his arm, staring at the gramophone that you fixed for him as he is playing a cylinder on it. And you can hear this really, really distorted music coming through that us in real life would relate to jazz. As it's just sort of as he's just sort of like looks like he's unimpressed with this wax cylinder that he acquired. As he would lazily look over and spot Septimus, his eyes would get big and he would sit up straight and he'd be like, well, isn't it the honorable adventurers? Oh God, I gotta stop smoking.
It's good to see you too, Torcal.
Yeah.
I take it you've heard the news then.
Heard the news. I was there. I saw you all. I saw what you did to that machina. I saw the proclamations of Hyvin's first adventuring guild, or party, whatever you are. Not holding anything against you, friend, but I don't know. Like, what are you, a guard now? Can we still have this interaction here? Am I safe talking to you, friend?
Of course. Business that goes on between us has nothing to do with Saipajin and his commodores.
Yeah. You know if you're a guard, you have to tell me.
I don't think that's true, but
I'm pretty sure that's the law. But all right, Seppi. What do you want?
How's that gramophone working for you?
And he looks over to Bruce. Top-notch work fixing it. Just hard to acquire any decent cylinders for it.
Yeah, those are hard to come by. But good. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Do you remember our previous deal?
Yeah, if I have any shipments coming in that are of interest and need work, you'd be willing to help.
Yeah, anything come of that? Got any valuable scrap that you've determined?
Yeah, I mean, we've got a few things that have come in. I mean, Septimus, you know the usual stuff I've got. You've hawked some of it yourself. As he grabs the reacher grabber and opens up a little chest with it that's across his desk from him. And you look and you can see, like, he lifts it up and it's wrapped up, but you can faintly see some typical scrap that you might have found out in the forests. Old Kirin Kirisri scrap from that you would have found. You don't know the term Kirisri, but that's sort of scrap from the Beyond era.
Right.
You can see some of that, not a lot of it, but some of that special woven metal that that you've gotten before, that you've also sold to him before when you needed money.
Yeah.
We found some of this stuff on one of my contacts. One of my usual guys found this while scrapping out in the countryside. As you know, Septimus, is getting rarer and rarer to find this stuff.
I know all too well. I think this time I'm looking to procure buy this myself as opposed to sell it to you.
That's some good shit, Septimus. Peering over your shoulder, looking at it.
How much for the lot?
For the whole thing?
How much does he have?
You're looking at it, it's probably like a pound.
Yeah, then yes.
A pound of this stuff. I mean, you know how good this stuff is. You've been able to not work for months after selling this stuff to me before. And it's even rarer than it was when you sold it to me before. Pound of this stuff? Yeah, you're looking at... For a friend. You're looking at 250 silver.
Surely he's a better friend than that.
This guy?
200, yeah.
He might be a cop. I mean, a guard.
He's not a
Wait.
guard.
Haven't you known Septimus for a long time?
Yeah,
I
come on, he's
have.
done some good jobs for you. Cut him a break. You know he'll make something beautiful with that.
He scratches his head with the reacher grabber, and then like, looks at it and looking to you all, and then like looks to Bruce though, and then back to Septimus. Well, if you two are working on something with this stuff, maybe you can let me in on it a little bit. What you're working on. I see you're not concealing yourself anymore, and that you're down to your regular amount of arms.
Well, if we tell you, you're gonna have to knock down price down.
That's the nature of what I'm suggesting.
Oh, good. I'm just glad we're on the same page.
And of course, you know, if you have, if you do accomplish whatever you're doing, maybe your good old buddy Torcal gets a look at the specs.
That seems fair enough. I've never been opposed to spreading knowledge. The more people know, the better we all are.
Okay.
But
Okay.
yes, what I'm planning on working on is getting something back that I've lost, which is pretty obvious.
That's what I figured. Adventuring life has been a little rough on you, hasn't it, Seppi? Well, if you're successful with this, or maybe even near success, maybe I'd make a second copy of your specs for a fellow curious mind, and I could knock 75 silver off that price.
You have a deal.
I knew I could trust you. You're no guard. And he puts his arm out to shake your hand.
As I go in and shake it.
But what else though? What else is up with you all? You back in town for a while? You going on another adventure? What's going on?
We have to take up another job, but we'll probably be in town for a little while until we find something that pays as good as the previous job did. We'll be coming and going as we please.
Okay. Well, in addition to a little bit of that alloy, which he then closes the box and hands it over to you. I also found a little contraption that you might be interested in, Bruce, given what the repairs you've done. A lot of the stuff I find is waterlogged when I find it. Other things coming from the dirt, like the alloy you get, are easy to refurbish, clean up. But I've got this, and he goes and reaches under the table and he pulls out a very, very nice looking smoking pipe. that has some. It's made of a nice wood that does have a little bit of a mold to it, rot to it from being in the water. But it has these bands on it of metal that look like either a silver or even possibly a mithril that have some enchantment inscriptions on it. And Torcal just sort of looks at it and goes, not sure what it does, but it looks like if you were able to repair these enchantment circles, you might be able to access whatever magic was once in it. Of course, could be a dud, but that's the risk you get when you buy goods like this.
Bruce looks at it. Grandpa used to smoke a pipe. How much for
Well, given that there is a potential magical output of this item, of course, I don't want to make you pay full price for a magical item that could be a dud, and you got to put your own man hours in to repair it. But I got to make some change off of it. So this would be 150 silver.
150 silver for a gamble?
Yeah.
Jacques walks
feeling
over at that
lucky?
moment. 150 silver for the potential for hundreds, if not thousands? I say take it, my friend.
All right.
Jacques, you then see that it's a smoking pipe.
Yeah.
Oh. I mean, maybe not that, but if there's something else.
That's the hot ticket item today.
Disgusting. Walks away.
Well, I mean,
I don't know.
one of
Maybe
us
it
should be
doesn't.
able to
Maybe it's
tell-
not maybe it blows bubbles. I don't know. It could be anything.
I mean, are you giving us a moment to tell if it's magical or not?
Oh, well, then, my friend, the price would either go up or go down. The only way
Right.
to lock in 150 is now. The thing is, you got to fix it. That's the thing.
You're right.
So
That's if it's
it's
magical.
well, I mean, you don't often see what could be mithril bands on a non-magical.
Hey, Sean, real
Yeah.
quick.
Yeah.
I would like to make an investigation check using my forgery proficiency.
See if this is a real magic
see-
item.
Yeah.
So you actually have to do Arcana for that, I think.
Oh, okay, it's Arcana.
Yep.
But it's basically Arcana with proficiency.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead. You can examine it with if Bruce will let you.
Yeah, Bruce will hold it up. Bruce is also going to be looking at it too. I mean, I imagine he is looking at it the whole time. I would probably do an Arcana check as well.
Yeah, go ahead.
So that's a 17 to tell.
Okay. What'd you get, Bruce?
I got a 25.
Okay. I mean, Bruce
Glad
is. It's interesting because, Bruce, your role though is like somewhat to determine different things. Like your role is to determine capacity, I think, whereas Jacquette's role is to determine if this is a fake or a real item.
Yeah.
Jacquette, with your 17, you said?
Yes.
This is a real item. This
Okay.
is not a fake. This is clearly something that was built to harness magic. You can't determine its capacity right now. Bruce with a 25. This kind of along with Jacquette. Jacquette might be able to help you out here and be like, it's real mithril. You can determine this does have capacity for magic.
Okay.
That is real mithril.
It can be repaired.
All right, for the gamble of it potentially being magical, for 150.
150.
How about 100?
Well, aren't you gonna share what you two learned there? I think I just heard him. He said that's real mithril.
I don't know. I'm not an artificer myself. I'm just a
Yeah.
simple bard, you know? We don't really know about these kind of things.
It has potential to be just like the potential to be magical. It has potential to be real mithril. That's what he was saying.
Give me a Give me a deception check with advantage, Bruce.
Okay. Oh, nat 20.
Oh!
Baller.
Roll for Torcal. Okay, Torcal got an 18, so he looks at you discerningly with his insight check, and he's... Yeah, 125.
All right, fine. Deal.
All right. And he he wraps it up for you and hands it over to you and takes your silver.
Goodbye, son.
You know, you spend a lot more now than you used to. I think you should come by more often. As you
Well,
just
now
look
that I'm
to everyone.
So
Sean, could we just skip through selling my idols to, any random trader?
Yeah,
I
we
don't
can do it
wanna,
after.
Take too much. Okay.
how much was the metal then again? That'd been 150.
He knocked 75 off, so it'd be 175.
Yes, you're right.
And this would be plenty of alloy to do what you intended to do with the mithril.
Yeah. Hell yeah, brother.
Because where mithril is like half the weight of typical metal, but maintains the durability, this stuff is even more efficient than that.
We have work to do.
All right. Well, I think that's all we got for today. But some point, Septimus, I wouldn't mind getting a little update on your venture to the.
We'll have to see if it's successful first. Of course, it's just theory.
Well, actually, what I'm getting at is your little visit to outside to Square Horse.
Yes.
You never did tell me if you ever made contact.
I've been there a couple times now. Learned quite a lot. Quite a bit. Which is why I'm pretty confident in my ability to restore myself.
Well, be careful. I heard some rumors around the ward of some stuff that came in.
Oh.
Just don't want you getting too messed up. You're a good kid. You'll take care of yourself.
What's a square horse?
It's a bar.
Oh. Are we not allowed in?
No, anybody can go.
When were you there?
Oh. I don't know. Last couple times in Hyvin, when I was out along with Bruce.
Who are you, his mother? He can go wherever he wants.
I was just asking. I never heard of it.
Yeah, it's a cool little bar. Yeah, one evening when you guys went to bed early, we went out.
Cool.
Torcal looks at you, Sass, and says, "It's a bit sketchy."
What are you doing on a sketch? You know what? It's not the place for this conversation.
Real quick, Sean, looking around, are there any like thieves' cant or any indication of like Torcal being a fence of any kind?
Yeah. Give me a perception check. DC 12.
Wow, I got a 12.
Every time I say DC 12, you guys get 12s.
That.
Yeah. There are etchings on the table that he puts his products on that would, to a normal passerby, look like nonsense or like a child was just scraping things into it. That clearly indicate that Torcal is a fence for many goods. You can a lot of this stuff he hawks is probably acquired illegally.
Good to know.
Certainly, someone who would be interested in moving items as well.
Torcal.
Little do you know, Torcal is actually a high prince of Lothlorien.
Oh.
And that's why he's slumming it in Hyvin. No. But yes, you can definitely see that Torcal is definitely a fence for goods. And you've been able to hawk some goods here. Anything else other than our idols that Firin is selling that you want to take a look at before heading off to your next endeavor?
Is this where we would find like clothes, or is that in a different part?
You could find some used clothes here and some. This is very much like a Goodwill if you're looking for clothes. You'd find some good stuff though, most likely. Unique
Bruce
stuff.
would probably go shopping with Saskia for some clothes.
Yeah, I'll peruse, but contrary to everything that she is, she's actually looking for something a little nice.
She does have more silver than she's ever had.
Exactly. And she doesn't know what to do with it, so
She's gonna donate
nice
it all to the
jacket
church
is-
again.
Probably.
Okay. Firin,
blade.
how many idols did you have?
That is a good question. I have a price estimate on them. I don't have a number of
That's
idols.
fine. You could just give me the price estimate.
Let's see here. I had it open and then I lost it. 65 silver pieces of weird sea-logged idols is what I wrote.
Okay. You would find a flea market table with a rather witchy-looking individual with some Coke bottle glasses on and several layers of clothing as she's just sort of sitting there knitting. And you can see all around her are these tchotchkes, some of them looking homemade, some of them looking like they might be worth something. This is certainly like the place where you could hawk these types of items. Idols could also be traded in other places, like the university. You're not going to get necessarily as much money out of them as maybe some folks would get. It's flea market. They'll give you some money for it. She would look at them and probably offer you 40 silver for them as her first offer.
No, I mean, can you do any better? These things came from the bottom of the ocean. It was pretty hard to get them.
Well, that's the labor you chose to take to get these. I am just simply offering what I can for them based on our resale value and what the value they have to me. I like a good a relic of the sea or something of the forest, but I'm not going to spend all my money on them,
Yeah, but maybe you could make more money with them? Like, isn't that what you're here to do?
Give me a persuasion roll.
Mine look better than the ones you got over there.
Those are priceless. They're not even for sale. That's my personal collection.
Damn it.
What'd you
You
get?
pissed her off.
I got a 4.
She looks at you and goes, "Good sir, lad, that's what I'm trying to do by offering you 40 silver, is hawk them for more money. Have you never been to a market before?"
Not that I've never been, it's that I don't usually prefer.
If I were to pay 65 silver for these, I'd get no money for them. I might even lose money.
Who said 65?
Some spirit from beyond.
It sounds like that's the actual price. Like,
40
mentioned it.
silver, take it or leave it, lad.
Fine, I take the 40 silver.
There you go. She takes it, and you see she very like starts to slowly like arrange them in a particular order. As she's like, oh yes, this little one, yes, this one, it looks like a scrunch. This one is very tall and thin. This is a okay, yes. She's just sort of anthropomorphizing all of the idols immediately. And then suddenly she puts them in the right order, and a beam of light shoots out.
Whoa!
Oh,
A unicorn flies away.
Okay. All right. So I think as far as any kind of bartering or anything like that, we've completed. But do folks, is anyone, Sass and Bruce, are looking for some nicer stuff at the flea market, or are you looking for it to go to a real tailor?
Just some nice stuff. You know,
Yeah,
business casual.
I'm specifically looking for a nice jacket, a nice.
He's right there.
One that if one were to look at it, it might what's the word? Imply the title of captain. Something nice.
Okay. And Bruce, I imagine you're also looking for something decent, business casual.
Yeah, decent. You know, like nice little white button down. You know, little floofy a little bit.
God.
You know,
A floofy shirt.
Yeah, you know, just some nice brown pants with a belt or string belt. You know, nothing crazy, but.
Yeah, you definitely find this little corner tent where you step in, and there are these racks and racks and racks of secondhand jackets and shirts and nice pants. It's like very much so when you walk into any of those expensive shops at a Ren fair, is what you've walked into.
Yep.
Down to the woman selling these things, who's wearing a corset and has the full Ren fair outfit on. As she's also sort of just like petting this cat that's on her lap. That is maybe to a cat owner not suspicious, but someone who hasn't dealt with cats a lot, it is just like staring at you as you're going by, and like even as you get closer, the cat starts to like doesn't like
Good cat.
but you can definitely find maybe out of style a little bit. Maybe it's Jacquette might notice that it's like, though, that was popular 20 years ago. But you can find a ostensibly what you would view as a fine captain's coat. You know, it's of a faded blue color. The embroidery is a little loose. It's certainly something that was probably worth a lot of money when it was firsthand, but here it will do for what you're looking for. You might need to clean it up a little bit, but it'll do.
Okay. So I'll take it off the rack, and I will walk over and being very wary of the cat. And you know, I'll be polite to both the cat and the owner. This is gorgeous. How much for it?
15 silver.
Done.
And no resizings. We're not a tailor.
That's fine. Also, I can't help but notice your beautiful corsets. Do you have anything else like that? It's very excited. I might be going to a gala this evening, and I want to look a little
really?
more
You?
presentable. What?
You?
Yes, me. Is that so hard to believe?
You might want to take a bath, lass.
Noted.
You smell like the ocean, not in a good way.
Well, thank you.
And I said not in a good way.
That's all right.
Smell like old kelp on the beach.
It's my favorite scent.
And
Corsets or not?
rotten crab.
God, wonderful. Yes.
5 silver for a corset. You can go
Right.
find one that fits you.
Great. Done.
And how about you there, little lad?
No, what I'm currently trying on. I think it's perfect.
Oh, good choice. Good
Bruce.
choice.
Bruce does a little like twirl around.
Oh,
right.
I see. You
Very
found the ones that
smart.
already had the tail hole.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that too. You know.
Bruce, you look dashing.
Oh, thank you. We should. Yeah, I'm gonna wear this out of the store if that's all right.
That's fine, as long as you pay for it.
Yeah,
15
yeah.
silver.
There you go.
The cat suddenly likes Bruce. Still doesn't like Saskia.
Why? I go to give it a little scritch. Aren't you a darling little thing?
As you get your finger closer, though, it does calm down a little and just starts licking your finger.
Oh.
It's 'cause you
I'm not
taste
so
like fish.
scary. But I'm not. It doesn't make me a threat now, though, does it?
That cat bites your hand.
Fuck. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. We'll be sure to sing the praises of. What's your name?
Maggie.
Maggie. And the cat.
Maggie. Junior.
Of Maggie and Maggie. Wonderful.
Junior.
Maggie and Maggie Junior. How
There
about
you
we just go Maggie and Junior? All right, thank you. Come on, Bruce. Let's go catch up with
Okay.
the others.
All right. So you can head out of the flea market with the goods you've purchased and the goods and the silver you've acquired. What would you all like to do now?
Jacquette,
Yes.
look. And I hold up my jacket real proud. I bought it. I didn't steal it. I got it.
Okay. What did you buy it from? A moment, please. From 1300. Am I right? Okay. I guess none of you understand fashion in this party. That's okay.
Do you think you might be able to work a little magic on it? Not literally, but maybe literally, if that's what helps you. But to make it to, it's the button's a little loose there, and I don't know how to sew. Do you think you could make it look nicer? before
Someone who
this
knows how
evening?
to sew?
Yes, actually, that's exactly what you look like. So I'm asking you. And you know fashion.
I don't know how to sew. Robespierre now. There is an unseen servant who wields a thread and needle. Deftly, I might add.
Where is he? Can I ask him?
It doesn't really work that way.
Oh, good. Yes or no, Jacquette? Are you able to fix it up for tonight or no?
Able? Yes. Do I want to, is the question.
Do you want to?
I mean,
Honestly.
she's part of the group and she helps represent all of us. So I think it's in your best interest to make her look as dashing as possible.
Sure, but if all
I
of
give
you
Bruce
look
a
like
high five.
shit, it makes me look better in comparison.
If you don't want to, that's fine. I'll attempt it myself, but I could end up
Oh
bringing
god,
down
you'll
the
make
reputation.
it worse.
Exactly.
Okay,
yeah,
fine,
yeah.
fine, fine.
Thank you.
I'll see to it.
Thank you. Is there anything? Do you need me to tip you for it or anything?
Yes. 5 silver.
Don't drink the seawater. There's your tip.
Jacquette reaches into his bag, takes out the decanter of endless water, and goes, "You don't drink the fucking seawater!" And he's gonna geyser her. Actually, no, just fountain. Just a fountain of seawater splashes against her. As he does this, mage hand to take the new coat away so he doesn't,
So it doesn't get wet.
Yeah.
get wet. As he
Absolutely.
then marches off with the coat in tow.
I hid this corset in there too, so you've got both. So in case there's anything wrong with the corset, you can fix that too. Thanks. I appreciate your generosity, motherfucker.
He just waves as he continues walking towards the Cask and Crow.
Okay. All right. So,
What time
you're-
is it?
It's later in the day, so you could head to the Cask and Crow and wait for Sigil to come by, and grab drinks and dinner. Gather all together. Robespierre can be sewing elsewhere. As eventually, of course, Sigil would arrive. It's I mean, it's not super late. I wouldn't I take it back about like dinner. It's not dinner time. It's more like 3 or 4 o'clock. Um, as you all would just be sitting in one of the regular booths, the Cask and Crow. Okay. Eventually you would hear the horse-drawn carriage that you heard many nights ago when Sigil first arrived here. And
Weeks at this point.
it has been weeks, yeah. And that time, Dolvana was with him to kind of help him out of the cart and in here. Now you can see he's taken a cue from Septimus, and you can see one of the clockwork robots from his library is like cloaked in like the way you used to keep Sal. As he leads him in and the door opens, the clockwork robot doesn't come inside. He just opens the door and waits outside for Sigil. But you can see him in the same garb from earlier today, the very simple white robes and wraps with the seafoam blue and white mask. As he would slowly come over and very carefully grab the side of the table and sit down at the end and look at you all and say, I was able to acquire you all invitations for the gala tonight.
Wonderful. What time does this begin?
It begins in a couple of hours. The gates.
Oh man, you came here a couple of hours before. Shouldn't you be getting ready? Don't you just take a shower? You know, make your clothes nice.
I wasn't planning on going myself, but upon acquiring invitations for you, well, when you show yourself to people and they inquire, politeness sometimes takes hold, and I had to accept my own invitation. So I will be returning.
Oh, you
to
poor
freshen up.
thing! A night of gallantry and feasting. I'm so sorry. We dragged you into this.
I'm not exactly one for parties. Find them difficult and the people to be burdensome. But you all do quite well at them, it would seem. So I've acquired each of you invitations, and he pulls out 5 wax-sealed envelopes to give to each of you. I alerted them that you are adventurers. Many have already heard of you since the parade. So they are aware that you may not be coming in full formal attire. It starts at 6:30. It is in the Scrivener Hall of the College of Arts and Humanities. There will be, I believe, all of the deans will be there, as well as other important people of the university, as well as of the city. I've even heard that the Commodore might be there. So, if you're interested in networking or speaking with others, but I have a bit of my own request.
Oh.
Since you are going to be there this evening, I myself am poor at discerning truth in these social settings.
But hiding it.
We all have our secrets. He looks at you, Jacquette, sternly. But my prized pupil and your good friend, Septimus, Dolvana, she's taken up tutelage with another university. And I haven't the faintest idea who. I was wondering if you might be able to discern this, learn a little bit about what the different professors are working on. See if you can discern anyone working with Dilvana and what they're working on.
Did you mention that she'll be there tonight?
I don't know if she will be there, but given the magnitude of the event, I'm certain whatever professor she's working with will be there.
Mm.
But I haven't seen her in weeks. And I've only heard
Wow.
this through the grapevine, so to say.
You did us a big favor by getting us these invitations. Seems right that we could look into this favor for you.
And of course, don't... if it's convenient.
Right, of course. We will be discreet.
Most interested in their work. But nevertheless, I'm sure some of you have your own preparations to make, and I must myself look more presentable. Any questions?
No.
This is a good opportunity
Dude.
to meet some of the other administrators and deans of the university.
Anyone you suggest we avoid? Suspicious
Cadmus.
characters? Well, it's
But
a little
that's
too late for
more.
that.
Well, we'll have to
more-
keep Jaquette away from him.
Oh,
You know how
don't
much
worry.
you
I
like
won't go
talking.
near him with a 10-foot pole. And actually, I just want to say, I meant to say this earlier. This whole time, Jacquette's been working on something. Like,
Okay.
while what my unseen servant is mending, he is writing.
What's the, like, is there specific types of, like, events within this party? Like, at 7 o'clock, they put out hors d'oeuvres, or, you know, at 9 o'clock is a reading of this.
There will be. There is a cocktail hour at the beginning in the gallery where some of Professor Thirio's work will be displayed. He was famed for his painting, as much as he was also famed for his work in the histories. Some famed paintings of battles, important moments in history. Some more abstract work that has perplexed many in his later years. But after the cocktail hour, there will be dinner. There will be some readings. Presentation from the new dean, Sylrin Chevalier. Very fascinating woman. Philosopher. An archaeologist. Sea elf from the Shallows Gaunt. A lot of experience diving in her youth, I've heard. In the Aldhalor Sea.
Do I recognize that name?
Give me a history check.
Oh, it's not gonna go well. Oh, 14.
You know of the sea elf holdfasts in the Aldhalor Sea because you would have interacted with them frequently as a scavenger yourself. They're a good sizable population of Shallows Gaunt are sea elves, who live in these holdfasts that are attached to the high cliffs and the underwater cliffs, and they make domiciles near the ruins of the city, the floating city that collapsed into the Aldhalor Sea, the Pillars of Xerxos, that you would know is primarily where you would have gone on scavenging trips. Bring your haul back, clean it up, figure out what's junk and what's scrap. Sylrin Chevalier, this name is familiar to you with that role. She was a very, very well-known scrapper, who a lot of other scrappers looked at aspirationally because she got out of it, and moved to the city, and then moved to Hyvin and became a respected professor. You never met her, but you knew people who knew her.
Mhm. Cool.
And she wasn't scrapping when you were scrapping.
Okay.
Like, you heard the stories of her rise from scrapping. And like some of the people who've been stuck in scrapping for 40 years were like, I remember
Yeah.
Sylvan.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thanks.
So, I imagine I'll see you all there. If you wish, I can send my carriage down to get you, bring you up.
That would be fantastic, Sigurd. Thank you.
All right. Well, then I think that we are all set then. Potential work can come out of this, I think. Especially if you can figure out what's going on with Aldhalor. I think there's some things you can do for me there. What their projects are. I will have your textbooks as well ready tomorrow for what you inquired about. I've got my workers combing through the darkest corners of our library, deep in the forbidden section. Just kidding.
Very good.
I'm just kidding. Well,
Thank you, Stickle.
and I'll be off. If you need anything, send word. But I'll see you tonight.
There was something that you wanted to say to Sigil, right? I'm looking at Saskia.
And as Sigil is walking towards the door, I will be like, "Fuck, you're right, yeah." And I just turn and kind of chase him down and just be like, "Professor, I'm sorry. I just remembered. I do have a question for you."
Yes. And you can see, like, as you run up to him, like, you don't, like, scare him, but, like,
Yeah.
every time you've seen him, this man is weak.
Yeah.
So, like, you coming up on him, like, it does throw him off,
Yeah.
and he, like, leans against the
Yeah.
wall for a second, and like, catches his breath for a second.
Yeah.
Oh.
So sorry. I'm sorry. Do you want to sit?
What?
Do you want to sit down? And I pull out a chair.
And he does. He'll sit. Like, he is,
Yeah.
it takes him a while. Like, he's out of breath by the time he gets to his carriage when
Yeah.
he does this.
Yeah.
A question,
Yeah.
my dear.
Yes. Okay. It's kind of an awkward question, but I'm asking as politely as I can. And if you don't want to answer it, that's quite all right. I just have to ask. My curiosity and is getting the better of me, and my brain is just firing, and I'm
Well, I'd never ask you to dampen your curiosities, and most questions come out awkward at first.
well, okay. Some of my friends noticed that when we mentioned the Modron, that's
When she says some of my friends, Jacques just raises his hand in the background.
you're not there.
It's me.
Some of my friends noticed that she got a little tense or seemed like you knew some more that you were willing to share. And we were asking around today, and someone mentioned that the Modron would have needed some help getting here, and they wouldn't have just appeared out of nowhere. So I was just curious, and this could be a long shot. I could be just making up shit, but would you have anything to do with bringing it here? Did you send us there to see if it was successful? Did you know that Professor Nettle was working on this? And I don't know, are the two of you, did you work together to bring it here?
Well, that's 4 awkward questions.
I'm not really good with words. I'm not really good at putting them all together succinctly, and
No, you're doing lovely. Give me a persuasion roll. There's a kindness, though. Like, he's being, like, gentle with like your nervousness. Like even though,
Yeah.
of course, there's the mask. Like you can hear it in his voice and even see it a little bit in his eyes. The warmth there.
Okay. Persuasion. Bruce gave me a lollipop earlier, so I am re-rolling that. 12. Please tell me the DC was 12.
It's only 12 when I say it's 12.
Yeah.
No, but this is a tiered success roll. So you're not gonna get nothing. So let me just remind myself of the 4 awkward questions. Did you
I don't even remember what I said.
Did you bring the Modron
Did you
here?
bring the Modron here? Or did you and Professor Nettle work together to bring it here? Yep.
Did you send us there to see if it got here? Okay.
If it was successful.
So he would say, after he says you're doing lovely, say, I can assure you, at the very least, that I had nothing to do directly in the Modron's appearance here.
Directly.
And perhaps the uncertainty your friends saw was my surprise at not knowing something. But what I can promise you, Saskia, is if you and your friends continue on the paths that I think you're on, all will be revealed in time. That can be revealed.
So does that mean that you're just setting us off to figure it out for ourselves when you already know it?
No. As you can see, I'm a very weak man. And there are things I cannot accomplish on my own. And that is where I need you. The iron and mana. To reveal these things. And often, my dear, you need to trust in the chaos. I think you are familiar with that.
Very much so, yeah. I'm sorry I bothered you. I just thought I made a connection, and I not usually one to make connections, so I just figured I'd ask.
Well, discovery that something is not connected is a connection in and of itself. You are working on something. It's not success or failure. It's not the roll of a dice necessarily. I encourage you to continue this. But as the first day I met you, I will assure you I will never lead you into work that I believe will bring excess harm. I have no intentions of tricking you.
Oh no, and I wasn't implying that. I hope you. Oh gosh, I hope you didn't take offense to that. That's not what I was implying at all.
You worry too much, and you think too much.
Some people say I don't think enough.
It's the same thing. Focus these efforts, but enjoy the party tonight. There's plenty of time for making connections.
Right.
Now, if you don't mind, could you help me up?
No, not at all. I was going to offer. Yes, come. I offer my arm.
And he sort of leans into you a little bit there. And you can hear he's breathing his hoarse. As
Can I
you
get you anything?
just to the carriage, please.
Right. Okay. Thank you for indulging me, I suppose.
Of course. Keep that curiosity. I'll see you at the party. The robot closes the door and gets into the driver's seat of the carriage, and the horses start pulling him away.
When I go back inside, I will fix all the chairs that I pushed aside as I was rushing to get to him. And then I'll just go and sit back at the table, kind of like with a puzzled look on my face, and just kind of just sit down back where whatever conversation is happening, if there's any.
When she gets back, I think there's like a little like, well, yeah, I mean, you know, he appears weak, but you never know. Sometimes they might be hiding. Ah, Saskia. So?
I asked my question and I got a satisfying answer.
Which is?
Well, we keep secrets, don't we, Jacques? No, it's fine.
Fuck
He
you.
said he said he
Oh.
had nothing to do with.
Oh, fuck you still.
Fuck you too. No, fine.
He is going to hold up the nice jacket she just got, and he shing. I don't want to do this.
Why? It's just, he didn't. No. You were all right all along. He had nothing to do with it. All right. He just. Fuck. Why do you have to be such a prick? I take the jacket and I'm gonna go take a bath.
Where?
In the sink.
Yeah.
You're not getting Jacquette's keys.
That's true. The baths
Who
are in
says
the
she
nice
needs them?
apartments.
I'll go fight somewhere.
No, there actually are. You could get a bath here.
Okay.
It just won't be in the private, like, nice
Yeah.
suite that Jacquette has.
Yeah, no, that's totally fine.
Okay, so anything you all want to talk about before I mean, we're gonna end soon, but before we would probably just get to the prep for the party.
You would probably also take a bath.
Okay. Yeah, Saskia, you it would be 5 copper for the bath. And same to you, Fionn. And Sass, you might be like resting in there, like your eyes closed in the warm water. When at some point there are dividers, but at some point, Fionn, you would also arrive, maybe burst in and hop in one of the baths.
I just walk right by. I'm like, hi, Saskia.
Hello, Fionn.
So,
I can't tell you the last time I had a bath. Nope, sorry.
Bruce.
If Septimus and Jacquette are still at the table, hey, Septimus, you think your home is full of more raccoons by now?
I hope not, but I'm confident that we can at least clear them out with less trouble than last time.
Is this the longest you've been away from home?
It has. I am starting to miss it.
You hear a little scoff from Jacquette.
Yeah, what's so funny, buddy?
What? Oh, just that, nothing. Just that anyone could miss that sack of heap. No, it's a lovely, lovely piece of property you have there, Septimus. Quite nice.
It's where I grew up. You don't hold sentimental values for where you're from?
Oh, no, I do. It's just where I'm from is much nicer than where you're from, so that's why I have value for it, because it's valuable. It's literally worth hundreds, actually, maybe 1,000 gold. It's a very nice piece of property in Domuzerum, upper tier.
Yeah, but somebody had to make that, and it didn't just come out of nowhere.
Actually,
Septimus
there's a
can
good...
make his nice. It starts off like not great, and every project starts with a mound of dirt.
Sometimes they start with magic, and then you get a magnificent mansion, but I mean,
That's true. Yeah, I've seen many of those.
Yeah.
That's
Just
the
saying.
But no, if we do plan on staying quite a bit in Hyvin, I'd like to go back and check, see how everything is. Plus, on top of it too, my workshop would be a perfect place for me to conduct some more of my aspirations.
Yeah, I've got an idea. I'm gonna. We have is there a mail service here in Hyvin?
There is.
There is.
Jacquet, you got any paper? Papel?
He looks at the paper that's in front of him and then just
Mhm.
slides over one piece of parchment and then slides over the quill and ink well.
Thank you. And Bruce takes off his glasses. And,
I like to imagine when you take off your glasses and you like bring your face really close to the paper as you're
yes.
writing on it.
Oh yeah, he does. Yeah. And Bruce is gonna write a letter to Koboko, and he's gonna write it to addressed to specifically Selena in at Koboko.
Excellent.
And I will tell you the contents
At another time.
of that letter another time.
No problem.
Yay.
Okay. All right. Any other quick conversations before we close out for the night? Okay. So the three of you mill about perhaps, and then maybe we'll get to other things next session. But for the most part, imagine you all will be spending the next couple hours getting ready for the event and waiting for Sigil to send the carriage down. Alrighty, folks. And then we'll get into our lovely gala, and then I think after that, there might be a few other things, but I think you'll have a little bit of downtime, true downtime after that, to do things like craft items or carouse around town. Alrighty. So thank you everyone for hanging out with us tonight. We are gonna end it there. We're gonna send a raid on over to we'll send it over to Critical Bard, who's playing a little Baldur's Gate 3. Oops. All right, folks. Please join us again next week for the next episode and a lovely gala and the aftermath of the gala. As our lovely heroes get to go to their first big boy party, which I guess they did go to one for the parade, but this one's going to be a little longer. All right, folks. We'll see you all when we see you. Good night.
Bye.
See ya.